right, welcome in once again, Lings and Queens. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG Cup number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com and by SteelSeries, our new sponsor. We just landed that, announced that in the last week. So excited. We got so much money on the line, $200 in cash and prizes, courtesy of SteelSeries as well. And got a lot of fun times on the way, I believe, Red Mage.
Oh, we absolutely do there, AC. After a week off, it's great to get back into the saddle here. We're suiting up for a fantastic IG Cup event tonight. Massive field today. We actually had to expand it just to allow more players to come in and really enjoy. We have over $200 in cash and prizes to give away today, thankfully to our brand new sponsor, SteelSeries. So we're really looking forward to some really great stuff.
Oh yeah, SteelSeries, again, thanks to them. Check them out online, guys. We've got headsets, mice, keyboards, all kinds of stuff on the line tonight. So once again, I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is our IG Cup number 8. We've had a ton of people sign up, and it's all made possible, again, by SteelSeries and by the rest of our sponsors, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jiu-Jitsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, going to be moving right into the action, PvP action. We're going to have Velociraptor taking on Complexity RSVP. And RSVP is just such a strong player, my friend.
Oh yeah, he absolutely is. He just has decimated, countless times, even at MLG Columbus. Just phenomenal there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in this PvP matchup here versus Velociraptor. I'm not overly familiar with Velociraptor, but I'm really thinking that we're going to see something very cool. And on Metalopolis, it's one of those maps that anything can happen because if you're close air, if you're cross spawn, there's so many different things that can happen. So now we do have the cross spawn position, so it does add a little bit more of a what can you do kind of scenario to the situation as opposed to just trying to run over there as fast as they can. So we'll see what they can do.
Oh yeah, RSVP. Just such a big-name player right now. He's been taking down wins left and right. Velociraptor, not familiar with him as a player. I'm a Redditor, though, and if I must admit, a closet 4chan user. So I'm quite familiar with Velociraptor, the meme, but that's a discussion for another day. But PvP action leading off, and PvPs, like it or not, you can say you don't like the way the meta game plays out for it. You don't like the way the matchup tends to always have only one or two sort of looks to it. But hey, it's exciting one way or the other because early aggression tends to be the order of the day almost every single time.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. And what's cool about PvP, especially lately, is even with all the fiddling that they did with it in the previous patch, a lot of the Protoss players have really found ways to make their strategies a lot more dynamic now. It's not always just the same thing. They've done a little different things. They still the Fourier is still a viable option and things like that. But we're seeing a lot more Archons coming out. We're seeing a lot more just really neat builds and army compositions now. So I'm kind of thankful for that. Being kind of new to the StarCraft 2 scene, it's kind of neat to see all these things, and a lot of people are like, well, they were so much better with this and before this patch, but right now I think the game, with as far as the game
is pretty close to balanced. I mean, to be honest, there are a few little points you can niggle about, maybe the way infestors play into things, and of course there's a big debate going on about the Sentry Force Field, about how maybe it's the next ability to be tweaked with or whatever. But the game's pretty close to balance, and the numbers even bear that out. I don't have the chart hand here. I'd pop it up on the screen right now. But when it comes to win percentages per race in major professional matches, they're getting pretty close. But anyway, back into the game. Velociraptor going to be the first to spot his opponent, RSVP, very close to running up this ramp. They're going to get a look at Velociraptor. He's going to see one gas and a gateway and cybernetics score, basically the exact same thing that Velociraptor is seeing out of RSVP as well. So neither player tipping their hands much, going to try and be active with those probes and make sure they get the scout they need to at least get an inkling as to what tech path they're going down. We can see that there's a chrono boost on the warp gate research right now. Cybernetic score a little bit late for Velociraptor, immediately going to chrono boost that as well, but it looks like the Zealot actually out. Actually well out ahead for RSVP. Didn't know if he finished that up quite yet, but basically a mirror match at the moment, but Velociraptor just a little bit behind, and that's one of those things that you end up with anytime you go against a true professional player like RSVP. Their timings are literally to the millisecond, to the point that they can be ahead of you even though you're both doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and that's absolutely unreal. It's almost like playing, and you and I, use this comparison a lot with 2D fighters. When you're watching somebody that's really, really great and somebody who is just an absolute master at it, they can tell you exactly how many frames it takes to pull off the maneuver, even though you're both doing it at the same time. They know too, like a keyframe. How quickly
Velociraptor's moved out. He spotted the proxy pylon here on RSVP. This is so important that he takes this pylon down, but the reinforcements rallied in now for RSVP. Going to allow this pylon to finish. That's so important because we see 3 gates out of RSVP. Back at home, we see Velociraptor opting for that gateway robotics facility opening. So he's now tacking on a few panic gateways, I would even say. That Sentry is really going to be the hero unit because he knows he's going to be facing aggression very, very soon. Great thinking there by Velociraptor. If he was going for the early tech with that early robotics, he knew he couldn't allow a proxy pylon to get down, but RSVP just so good at early aggression here with these Stalkers and with Protoss in general. So one force field going to hold this off for the moment, but the energy on this Sentry already down below that critical number of 50. So we're going to have to wait and see a second Sentry in now. Going to force field one more time, but now he's below. And right now it looks like Velociraptor just in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, once those force fields go down, he's going to be very hard pressed, and that just gives RSVP more time to warp in more and more units. And I think that's what's really going to matter here. And with that Immortal, it might be a good defense until those Sentries get more energy.
Well, that Immortal's going to hold at least for the moment. RSVP is not all in, by the way. This is in no way a 4 warp gate. This is a 3 warp gate push, so he's not all in the least. He's actually tacking on a Twilight Council now as well, so going up his tech path off of 1 base. Velociraptor well undermanned. He traps 1 Zealot, but he can't even try to pick him off because of the Stalkers down at the bottom and the high ground vision. So RSVP continuing the dance around down at the bottom, looking to get into the base and wreck. Oh, he picks off 1 Stalker, and when you're talking about PvP battles in these small numbers, that's actually huge to lose 1 Stalker without even getting to engage. So that Zealot dancing around, another force field going to prevent the run-up, and now looks like Velociraptor going to finish that up. I like what RSVP's doing here, though. He's not overcommitting. He's not going to try and run the entire force up at once, maybe get force filled in half and basically lose all the potential this aggression has. He's being very, very cautious because he knows he's going to be ahead in the tech, at least at the moment. He's got control of the map. He's got control of his opponent's ramp, and the game is really in his hands at the moment.
Oh yeah, and Velociraptor's doing a great job here. He's adding on multiple pylons to keep those unit producing structures powered, even if RSVP does manage to get into the base and does manage to take out the single pylon. So many times you see a pylon powering 3 or 4 different buildings, and then as soon as you take that out, it completely shuts down your counter attack or defense. So this is very good for Velociraptor.
The Artosis pylon. Oh yeah,
the Artosis pylon. There you go.
How much stuff is named after Artosis? I mean, you've got the Artosis pylon, the quote-unquote common knowledge hallway of Artosis on Xel'Naga Caverns. I guess that's the GSL effect. Once you go to Korea, man, you're bigger than...
bigger than the game itself.
Exactly. So good force fields there, but the blink gonna nullify the force fields, and now all of a sudden Velociraptor's gotta know he's in trouble. Blink Stalkers in these numbers is not something he's gonna be able to deal with, and all he has to do is get high ground vision for a moment, and that entire force is gonna be able to blink up. That basically makes force fields useless. He can try to cut them in half, but now watch, it's not gonna matter. Actually, he's just gonna blink back. That's a little, I guess you could say, I won't say bizarre, very cautious again, and I guess the reason it's kind of surprising, it's not a bad play in the least, it's just RSVP, we've worked with him a lot through our faction wars, seen him in a lot of events, and he's not always known as the most cautious player, you know?
Yeah, he definitely is a little bit more aggressive, but I definitely like that because not only are you showing your opponent that I've got blink, I can get into your base if I wanted to, but I'm going to micro the absolutely bejesus out of these things and keep moving them back, and then that shows your opponent that hey, you've got blink and that you know how to use it, correctly without overcompensating for the whole thing. And at the same time, RSVP is going into the close air.
Well, here we go. Here's the battle. It looks like Velociraptor is beginning to feel the pressure, wants to push out. He knows he's behind, and I think he's getting an inkling of the fact that his advantage at the moment, granted by those Immortals, not likely to last very long, and he's actually exactly right. RSVP falling a bit behind in supply at the moment, but he's also going straight up to the Zealot leg charge that's going to help deal with the Immortals. 1 Colossus, and I got to say, this feels a lot like a beta or like the first month of release of StarCraft sort of a build right here. 1 base Protoss versus, well, I guess you can't say 1 base for RSVP anymore, a hidden expansion, but up until about 30 seconds ago, 1 base Protoss Protoss versus one base Protoss. So really reminiscent of the old style of play. It's like, yeah, I'll just get every tech structure known to man until I'm mined out at my spawn position. Then I hope I win, and if I don't, GG. So RSVP going to use that blink. Actually going to be chased away. He's going to see the Colossus. Going to have to run back home. And Velociraptor, really, I got to give him credit. He's dealt with this, I won't say brilliantly, but very effectively. He's shut down the aggression. He managed to hold the line. He doesn't know that his opponent has an expansion, but right now that expansion is very, very vulnerable. If he gets an observer over there, there's no way RSVP is going to be able to defend it, and it's really going to come down to how active Velociraptor can be on the map right now. Otherwise, RSVP is going to be jumping out to a big economic lead here in the next few minutes as soon as that economy kicks in.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right about that, AC. And at the same time, Velociraptor taking this opportunity, take that expansion now, which is smart because he managed to push everything away, got rid of that silly pylon right there, and that's always a big thing. Is he didn't do too much scouting after that to see if there was an additional pylon. As somebody of RSVP's caliber, I would probably expect at least another pylon somewhere, or assume there might be another pylon, and done a little bit more scouting around. But he left that entire back end of the minerals.
10 Zealots in the end, and Archon have joined the field now, and it looks like they're going to be there just in time. Velociraptor pushing across the southern gold minerals. Looks like he wants to turn around. Don't know if he got a spot of that or if he's just being extremely cautious, but this is an engagement I don't think that Velociraptor wants to have at the moment. He's got a high Zealot count as well, but a lot of his army is very, very fragile. Second Colossus joins the field right now. RSVP ahead in supply again. That economy already beginning to kick in. We see Velociraptor's observer has been, so he gets a good look. He's got them isolated. The Zealots are on the other side of the map, and RSVP with a misclick kills the Mank statue just out of pure hatred, out of pure frustration, I would suppose. And now he's trying to circle his way back around that northern alley while his reinforcements join. The Zealots are actually going to come right into the back of this, and if he can use those to target fire down the important units in this ball by Velociraptor, it could be devastating. Here we go. There's the engagement. The Archon going to move in. Not seeing the Zealots do anything but go to work on the Stalkers right now. RSVP using the Stalkers of his own to blink and take down the Colossus, and now he's got a good surround. The Zealot numbers were favoring for the moment at least RSVP. They melt entirely, but now really this is going to come out really in RSVP's favor. Velociraptor getting a little bit too brave with his units out in the middle of the field and now being punished for it.
Oh, yeah, and, that Archon is paying for itself in dividends. He kept it to the back, and there's the GG right there by Phil, so... Velociraptor.
There you go. Velociraptor. Got to get you on Reddit more, man. You got to know Velociraptor. The little raptor with his finger on his chin as he thinks about how to open doors. Anyway, this is the IG Cut number 8 brought to you by itsgosu.com. I'm AC, that's Red Maze JR, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us no matter where you're joining us from. Want to give a shout out to our friends as always at Team Liquid at Reddit, at StarCraft Reddit /r/StarCraft over at Reddit. We love those guys as well. And if you joined us from Zeke, from wherever, thanks so much for being here. We've got an extremely talented pool, and we're leading things off with RSVP and Velociraptor. RSVP leading things 1-0 here in this best-of-3 series.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, this isn't a best-of-3, is it? It's a best-of-1.
Is it a best-of-1?
I think so, yeah. We had so many people sign up.
It is a best-of-1, yes. Yes,
all right. All right, my friend, tell you what, you go ahead and get our next game selected and figured out. I'll go ahead and do the obligatory sponsor shout-outs. These are the guys who help make this possible, so please check them out. Thanks from us to them and from you to them, I hope. SteelSeries, our brand-new sponsor, we just announced them earlier this week. A pleasure to be working with them. You're going to see an increase in our events and in the prize pool for our events as well, so thanks to them. Cyberground.us, the land center of choice for all your nerdly needs. If you happen to be anywhere near the Northern Virginia area, you got to stop by Cyberground, especially when we do one of our live events. And actually coming up next month, we're going to be having a charity event live at Cyberground. We're going to be working with Child's Play, so I really look forward to getting in on that. Hope some of you can come out and say hi to us. Max Integration and, of course, San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, RSVP really living up to his reputation so far. I mean, he's an early aggression-oriented sort of a player most times, but the big thing is he plays at a professional level. I mean, he's a member of Complexity Gaming, so very cautious when he needed to be, but very aggressive with that killer instinct that led him to a win there.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right about that, and I'm trying to track us down like another matchup right here. We're probably just going to go ahead and follow RSVP now versus Fingo. That might just be a good go-ahead place. That way we're not having to, waste too much time, as they like to say.
Right.
But, Let's see. Might as well, right?
Hey, it doesn't matter to me, man.
We know he's free, right?
Well, it's right now. I got to admit, we had so many people sign up. I mean, we're just the humble casters, the guys behind the mic, the talking chimps who make sounds that we hope please you. But we've really got a pretty amazing field. I'm not even sure who's here and who's not. I mean, we had so many people show up at the last minute, and we don't like to exclude anyone. We had MTW Demaga sign up. I'm not sure if he's been able to make it in yet. And, of course, Cole RSVP. A lot of major teams represented. VVV Titan, Six Jacks Major signed up as well. This is Jimmy is here. Root Dodoro is here. So 1WBC from One Gaming, good friends of ours. So many good players. And a lot of players who, don't have the big names that maybe some of the professionals do, but some amazing players in their own right.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you what, AC, it's you and I talked about this before we got on air. We cannot take off an entire week or so beforehand, unless we're going and doing something else. I am so brain dead today. Trying to figure out how to put maps together and this. It's terrible. I tried to play Brood War because you've been trying to get me to play StarCraft 1 and Brood War, and I tried to play it and I couldn't. I just couldn't wrap my head around.
It's tough,
using
man.
the keyboard and mice again. It's just
tough.
So bad.
Brood War, Brood War makes this a game. It's like chess to checkers, really. I hate to make SC2 sound that simple because it's not. It's complex in its own way, but from a mechanical standpoint, the skill and mechanics you need to play Brood War effectively just absolutely dwarfs the skill you need to play StarCraft 2 effectively. I mean, it is truly just this gigantic gulf. And but yeah, I give you credit for trying to cross it, man. And you need to play, even if you play old style on very easy and just click on stuff. Either way, you got to go through Brood War if nothing else, just so you can be caught up on exactly what's going on in the StarCraft universe. So, gotta have RSVP and Fingo on Xelnog cameras, getting the ready check from those players now. I take it.
Yep, we sure are. We're getting and Fingo, of course, was a great. I like Fingo a lot because Fingo is always on my side when it comes to the medic Banshee chick debate, and not just that, but he's got the mercenary up this time, and I'm pretty sure he's saying he's not ready yet because I think he's going to change it from the mercenary back to the medic lady because it's far superior. Because she is so much hotter than the Banshee girl.
No, she's not. I'll tell you what, we're going to wait. We're just getting into things. We got some viewers showing up in the stream now, so we're going to give time for the stream viewership to roll through. And I got to admit, man, I hate that we're having to compete with the Team Liquid Open tonight. I absolutely despise it.
Oh yeah, and that's just one of those weird things that sometimes we set up a schedule like weeks in advance, and all of a sudden it's we find out that that other thing is going on today too. Yeah, it was the same thing with MLG. We had some stuff scheduled the weekend of MLG finals. So yeah, that's why we didn't have a cloth last week, is because of course the MLG finals, and we didn't have a lot of stuff going on this week because of course we were a week ahead.
Right.
And then of course E3 was this week. So
yep. So jumping back into things, but I'll tell you what's extremely exciting, and I don't care to say it. I mean, we haven't finalized anything yet. But given as much as we've talked about it, beginning next month, starting off in July, that's going to be the kickoff for our 2011 Summer Tournament Series. We're winding down the Spring Tournament Series now. This is the last month of that. But we're going to be bringing some new stuff to the table. Namely, we're going to be staggering our events. Instead of having 3 beta and alpha divisionals a month, we're going to kick that up to 4. And we're going to have 2 each geared for each coast. We're going to have 2 beta and alpha divisionals, and omegas, I should say. They're going to start right at about 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we're going to be having 2 a month as well that start 6 or 7 p.m. West Coast time, Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to have that, and we're also going to be reaching out to our buddies across the pond. Going to be having at least what we've talked about, at least 1 EU tournament along the lines of this, probably a big open style tournament, open to all skill levels each and every month. So we're looking forward to that as well, and just so much on the horizon. And I got to say, I've been feeling good this week, man. We've had some big things happen. Landing SteelSeries as a sponsor, just great guys at SteelSeries, great products. and pleasure to be with them. But so definitely check them out, guys. If you're looking to invest in a new keyboard, new mouse, or what have you, not only is it the best gear on the market, no lie, but they support esports so much. They support us, and if you're here listening to us, in part that's due because of SteelSeries. So if you've got the money handy and you're going to buy something good anyway, go to SteelSeries, buy it. Even if you're not completely sure that you want SteelSeries, give it a shot. I promise you won't be disappointed. If for no other reason than they support esports, they support us, and it allows us to have these events for you guys.
And graduation's coming up, and a lot of times, you're looking for something cool. That's hey, go to SteelSeries right there, picking up the 6G keyboard, the 6G V2 keyboard. I love that one. The unbreakable tank of a keyboard that they say it is. Of course, I'm still using my Z board there with the all new StarCraft 2 key layer, which is great. So, because I after I saw that, I did have to be a little bit of a nerd and pick that up.
Right.
Because of course I do own key sets for tons
Brother,
of games.
you gotta warn me whenever the games are going on. You gotta warn me. So, listen, no,
I'm sorry, I wasn't even paying into the stream. I thought you had already keyed over. I'm
sorry.
I
just now keyed over. I was actually checking on some other things. I was and this is for those who don't cast and don't or have no idea how these things work. The way that we do it, don't know if anybody else does. The way we do it, and it tends to work pretty well, is Red Mage sets up the games, and I tend to try and handle. I run the stream, run the camera work, all that stuff. The quote unquote camera work. We kind of have divvied up responsibilities, and occasionally he'll start the game and I don't know. So we're not too late, though. Something very important worth noting, though. This was an extremely fast gas out of RSVP. I mean, extremely fast gas. I saw it even before a cybernetics course, so that's all you missed, but we're caught up on that. Fingo going with a more typical build now. The probes of each dancing around trying to get an idea, and really, I do not believe that Fingo got this probe in here in time to know that gas was super fast. I'm pretty sure he showed up right about the time it should have been done anyway. So we're going to see something out of RSVP. I'm going to guess either it's going to be a super early tech path of some sort. The question is, what kind of early tech path? Is he going to go Robo, or is he going to do something like DTs, or is he going to try and aim for something more along the lines of like Twilight Council to get some early Blink Stalkers that served him so well in that last matchup? And he's going to be on a clock with it. Fingo dropping down his 4th warp gate now. So we see a little bit of a Palgrim here in the middle of the map, a little bit of an exchange. It looks like Fingo's going to be able to chase RSVP back. RSVP going to lose that first Zealot, and again, in these small numbers and in PvP, even the loss of one Zealot without being able to do comparable damage can just be huge.
Oh yeah, and we also want to let everybody know that right now, because we are in the second round, I forgot to do it when we were moving rounds. If you go and send us an email at contest@itsgosu.com, we are giving away 5 packs of the limited edition Planeswalker Magic cards right now. So everybody that wants a free pack of Magic cards there, send it to contest@itsgosu.com, and we'll put everybody together. We'll pull out 5 names, and those 5 people are going to win a pack of special edition Planeswalker Magic cards that were only available at the New York Comic Convention. So, but we'll back into the action because we see RSVP is actually inside Fingo's base.
Right, and Fingo actually made quite a big mistake. He canceled that 4th warp gate, dropped down the robotics facility. Now he's back on his back feet. The Stalker count's going to favor him at the moment, but RSVP's already got the pylon up. He's going to be able to warp in, and it's really going to come down to micro, and that's not a battle you want to be in terms of a battle with RSVP. Actually, it looks like RSVP might be pulling back home. It looks like he feels like he missed his window to attack and really make that effective. So Fingo able to hold that off just with some good timing on his warp ins, and part of that, as small as it was, is due to that loss of that early Stalker and early Zealot there by RSVP. If he has that Stalker and Zealot in his mix, that warp in by Fingo is not enough to hold off this aggression. So Fingo securing himself a chance to take it to the mid game just by some very good micro and control early on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And because I forgot to mention it because the action was happening, make sure you also send us your nickname at Justin TV or Twitch TV, so that way we can just verify. Because the other quick thing that you got to do is you got to make sure that you are a follower of us on Justin TV or Twitch TV. Right. So just make sure you put that in an email. I literally, like the last 13 seconds or 14 seconds, we just inundated with emails right there. People wanting to win those special edition Planeswalker cards, and they are awesome.
Oh,
they're
they
really,
are
really cool. They were only available at the 2010 conference there, and the reason why you can tell that they're limited edition is there's not a lot of words on it. It's literally just a big picture on the box, and it's wrapped up in cellophane there. So lots of really cool stuff there. And of course, we're giving away 5 packs right now. So send me an email at contest@itsgosu.com. Let me know that you want to win free Magic cards. Just include your Justin TV or Twitch TV.com.
Don't want to interrupt you.
nickname.
Just something very entertaining. A little bit of a dance of the observers here in the middle of the map. The observers literally passed each other directly in the same spot, right over this big chasm in the middle of the map. But RSVP had his stalkers handy, so he was chasing the observer Fingo all around the hole here, trying to get off the pot shots. He's still got his observer being active there. He's chased back home the observer of Fingo, and that's really important. It's that's a decision that RSVP has to make. Do I just go ahead and fly on past and risk losing my observer at his base while trying to get a scout, at least on maybe if he has an expansion or what he's doing back home, or do I try to pick off his observer, cost him a handful of minerals and a handful of gas, and then move in? So actually, it looks like he just did the dance of the observers. Now he's going to move into the south. Good scout pattern here, making sure he stays out of what's going to be the optimal paths for Fingo's observers to try and take out his own reconnaissance. So he's got a good look at what's going on. Both players looking very similar right now. RSVP ahead in the Colossus Wars right now. He's already got his extended thermal lance well ahead, about 50% further ahead than his opponent. But looks like we're going to have some War of the Worlds action.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it looks like right there. All the Colossus and stuff. I like how I do dig how the Protoss look. You know that I'm a visual kind of guy. I love PVZ, not because of any sort of action that could go on, but just because of the way the units look. And after not seeing them for a couple of days, it's like fresh. They just seem to look cooler today. They just seem to be a little bit hipper.
Oh yeah.
And it's just one of those weird things, at least to me anyway. But RSVP is doing a great job here coming up on that left hand side. We can see him move around.
Well, this is really good timing here. He's going to catch Fingo in the middle of an expansion when he's been one basing, so he's going to have an advantage. It's going to be a question of how hard he wants to push it. If he times this just right, this could be a killing blow style of a moment. RSVP's got the pylon in place, going to be able to warp in. One stalker coming in at the moment, and he needs to push soon. That extended thermal lance, no way for him to know this. His is finished, his opponent's is not. Going to catch up, actually, looks like, before the major engagement here. But now we see that Fingo knows that there's someone knocking at his gate. He's going to have to try and get himself dug in pretty quickly. He's got one immortal in his mix here. No immortals for RSVP. RSVP's one Colossus ahead, though. We're going to find out who comes out ahead. The Zealot count so high for RSVP, going to work here at the front as the Colossus rain down death and destruction from the front. The Zealots chasing the Stalkers back. Only a handful of units left now for Fingo as his entire army's just melted in front of RSVP. Just bad timing on that expansion instead of going for another round of warp-ins. And now it looks like RSVP going to be in a position to continue to pressure this. Certainly going to force the cancel on the expansion. Another Colossus joins the battle for Fingo just as the other dies. But Fingo now run all the way back to his base, all the way back to the robotics facility from which that Colossus came. So he's in a very tough position. Looks like RSVP's just going to go to work on the workers in the Nexus, and this is going to be GG, Red Mage.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it looks like with him in there. He's going to have such an advantage just trying to pull everything apart right now. Fingo just had nothing right there, and there's the GG right there from Fingo. Great job by RSVP, knowing exactly where to time that push and really coming in there and doing it just huge damage to Fingo. Fingo, buddy, I'm sorry, man. I dig you. Like you're always the best because you're always on my side with the Medic versus Banshee argument. So, but it's sad to see you go on a best-of-1 series. But we will definitely continue to see more and more from Fingo, I hope, in the future.
Oh, yeah. We love Fingo and love each and every one of you. Thanks so much, guys, by the way, for joining us on the Justin.tv/TwitchTV chat, or, stream and in the chat on Battle.net. Thanks so much to all of our players as well. Just an amazing turnout here for our IG Cup number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com and, of course, by SteelSeries, as well as our other sponsors. We'll run through them again very shortly. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR. And, I got to say, man, it feels good to be back. You talked about how we took a little time off. We had to Had some downtime because of MLG and E3 and all that, and I've just been kind of out of sorts. Now I'm behind the microphone. I've got Red Mage in my ears through the headphones. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh.
Oh yeah, it just feels, I don't know, it just feels, good. Like I was sitting around all day, and was just really kind of anxious to get ready for it.
I know.
Just couldn't wait for it, and then just mere moments before you get that kind of like panic of like, oh my God, am I gonna know what to say?
Right.
And you've got the great radio backing. So I just have the ability to just be annoying and talk too much.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I've missed, and I've legitimately missed it before, and I'm missing it now, man. It seems like you're a little out of practice with it. I need the movie references. I need the Casper Van Dien in my life.
Oh man! Speaking of Casper Van Dien, you know what I saw this morning on HBO? They were playing Starship Troopers 3, and I immediately had
straight to DVD Starship Troopers 3.
The straight to DVD Starship Troopers. I immediately had man love for you. So I forgot to tell you that earlier, but yes, I watched Starship Troopers 3. So good.
No, it's so terrible, so terrible. And again, it's like. It's so bad that even I have to love it, but it's such a sacrilege, man. I mean, I'm such a big-time sci-fi fan. I'm a Heinlein guy from way back in the day, and it sucks. But we're taking a look at the brackets now. Things are already beginning to shape up a little bit. We see that still waiting on some of the matches. We've actually had the pleasure of, I guess you could say, the pleasure of watching RSVP. RSVP is actually he's further along in the bracket right now than any other competitor, so we're a bit ahead of things at the moment. And so you're going to have to bear with us for a minute, guys. We're going to jump into the next game or the next matchup as soon as we possibly can. Thankfully, we're not, I'm going to get this out of the way now and just go ahead and say it before I make a joke, because I was going to make a joke that would sound extremely snarky. MLG, nothing but we try to keep a PG-13 stream. I don't care. Nothing but fucking love for MLG. My God, was Columbus amazing. I mean, just in every way. Almost every issue was sorted out. The venue looked beautiful. The people were beautiful. The Koreans there added so much drama. It really, it was a bit before my time, but it kind of flashes me back. I was born in '84, and it flashes me back to, like, I can remember being young and when the Cold War was still kind of fresh in people's minds, and USA was the chant everywhere you went. It's like, yeah, as cheesy as that is and as BS politics as that is, there's still a really exciting feeling that comes with that. And to hear the crowd at MLG Columbus chanting USA anytime Idra did well, or anytime a Korean took on a round eye, so to speak, was just absolutely amazing. So props to them. Absolutely. The joke I was going to make, by the way, that led to that long-winded preface as to how much I heart less than 3 MLG right now, is that I was going to say we're not going to be like MLG and subject you to non-volume control Bing commercials that you're forced to listen to every 5 minutes. Instead, you're just going to put up with our banter. So hopefully that's not going to run too many of you off. So where are we at, Red Mage? Do we have any idea on a matchup coming up next?
Yeah, we're actually jumping into. We were invited by RSVP versus Valor. So, they would like us to stream their event. Since I was hoping to get in with This Is Jimmy or some of the other players, but a lot of them are still battling through their one-offs, and they're waiting for opponents and things like that. So it's being odd. At the moment,
it seems like we always do this, man. It's like in a perfect world, we want to stay exactly even with or slightly ahead of our brackets. It seems like every time we pick the initial game to cast, it's over in like 5 minutes, and the next round is over in like 7 minutes, and then we're behind. We're so far ahead that we just gotta banter and drive our streamers crazy. But at least we got one more good match with RSVP. This is gonna be a best of 3 too, so it's gonna get everybody a chance to catch up with us. So that'll be super happy, fun times. And see, you gotta let me know, man. We're already in the match. I've still got the stream up. Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you. Sorry, I didn't even know the stream. I was actually looking at the stream chat, so I didn't even know that the game was going. So so now, we're getting in the game. AC, there we go. So
thanks. Then, mighty kind of you, Red Mage. Thank you much.
Pretty good. Okay, and just want to let everybody know that you have till the end of this match right now to win the first of the magic cards we're giving away. We're still giving away 5 packs. Of magic cards. We want to let everybody know that they are limited edition Planeswalker magic cards. They were only available at the New York Comic Convention. I still want to say Comic-Con. New York Comic Convention in 2010. They are really, really awesome. They've got that limited edition look and feel and ooh and ah to them. So if you are a magic card fan, or if you have a friend or whatnot, or you just want to make some pizza money, These things usually retail for about $15, and this was the non-special edition portion of the things. And the individual cards, we've seen them go up to about $120 on eBay for some of the super rare cards. I don't know if they're in there. We don't have the X-ray technology to see inside the decks. Otherwise, I would have a really killer Magic card deck. But if you,
I love how it's like if I had X-ray technology, you wouldn't use it for monetary gain. You wouldn't, I would have a killer ass Magic the Gathering. I love it. That's true nerd thinking. It's like, do not care about abuses. Do not care about anything. All I care about is making sure I've got the best Magic the Gathering deck as humanly possible. So,
yeah, you're absolutely. It's like one of those things. Like if you had superpowers, would you use them for good or for awesome? You'd use them for awesome
every time. It's like my favorite superpower of all time. If there's always the nerd debates, especially when alcohol's involved, concerning if you could have any superpower, what would it be? I would have the superpower proposed by Jean-Luc Picard. And oh god, what was it? That short. It's but I've already seen everything. That's the superpower I want. So hopefully, I'm not the only one familiar with that.
I'm trying to.
It was like a British short. I can't remember what it was. Patrick Stewart, he was in Australia. Anyway, look it up. Just put in Patrick Stewart. I've seen everything. You'll wind up on it on YouTube. It's freaking hilarious. But anyway, RSVP opening up. Very typical. He's got his gas on time, Gateway, and Cybernetics Core all going to be spotted by Valor. Valor building his units and his structures a bit closer to the ramp than RSVP. I guess you could say that's a stylistic choice. You can make arguments either way as to if this offers an advantage or a disadvantage. And wow, we actually see 2 Gateways immediately out of Valor and absolutely no Cybernetics Core. So looks like he's going to be doing something a little bit different here, Red Mage.
Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right about that, AC.
Well, there's a Cybernetics score going down now, so I guess I don't know what Valor was, I'm not super well acquainted with this. I mean, it's, 2-gate, a 2-gate opening, yeah, we all know what that is. We all know how that works, but to go 2 gates followed by a Cybernetics core at your ramp with no proxy nonsense. The Assimilator still down now for Valor, though, so he's going to be trying to prevent any tech path out of RSVP. And wouldn't surprise me a bit now that RSVP has seen that he opened 2 gates, then Cybernetics Core. Not sure what he's thinking with that gas deal. Right now, really, RSVP just needs to drop down a 4th warp gate and go win.
Oh yeah, and what's interesting to see is you can actually tell a lot about a player by the way that they construct their base. You can see that RSVP kind of leads in a line there, or Valor kind of leads out with it, and then you see RSVP just SimCity the whole thing right in on top of his mind.
Well, here comes the pressure from Valor. He's using those 3 opening Zealots now, but the problem is Warp Gate's now done for RSVP. He had his units rallied across the map. We see he's already got the proxy pylon down. Going to be spotted by Valor there. That's super important in trying to deal with this. The Warp Gate is nowhere near done right now for Valor. He's way behind, so if RSVP can just get his forces consolidated and be able to handle this initial wave of Zealots out of Valor, he's going to be in a great position. But Valor really making this 2-gate opening work kind of, sort of. I mean, the Stalker's coming in now. That's huge. That's what he needed more than anything, with some range support. And, it's really going to come down to micro now. And so much of PvP is always micro-based in the first 8 minutes or so. And but again, Valor we're somewhat familiar with. We've seen him play some. He's played in some of our events, but RSVP, his name precedes himself. He had a great showing at MLG. He's had great showings in a lot of tournaments lately. Just a top-tier player. So getting into a micro battle with him can always be a bit chancy.
Oh yeah, and that's what really could turn this way. And Valor being smart, kind of starting to pull things back. Now just seeing that huge line of Stalkers that RSVP has. So, I don't see very much back at Valor's base, though, so I don't think he's going to have very many reinforcements. So
Valor's pretty much done. The Warp Gate has finished, but he hasn't even opened up his gateway. He's just now tacking on the 4th. The pylon is already in position there for RSVP. Units being rallied in. He's going to have 1 round of warp-ins off of 3. That 4th still unopened. A little bit of a misstep there by Valor, but he's just going to be outmanned and outgunned, I do believe. No sentry in the mix either. Okay, no, there's the sentry. So he's going to cut 2 of those Stalkers off, but they're going to be able to do a little bit of damage before they die as well. The pylon already down at the bottom here by RSVP, and it's really going to come down to if this pylon can finish and how quickly he can put it to use. The Zealot's going to lead, and great force field, going to prevent the high ground vision. Oh, wow, RSVP actually able to warp up anyway. So, yeah, looks like Valor going to take the early GG there. RSVP jumping out to a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series.
That was absolutely incredible. Great job there to RSVP to try to get those units up there to get that the top vision. Valor doing a great job trying to suppress everybody as much as he could, but unfortunately with that high ground vision, there was nothing he could do. As soon as RSVP had the opportunity, he was going to just come in there and completely clean house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So thanks once again, by the way, to everyone hanging out with us in the stream and hanging out with us in the BattleNet chat and what have you. We know we're competing with a pretty heavy hitter tonight. Not going to lie, we're up against the TL Open. That's kind of rough indeed. So for all of you that are hanging out with us at the moment, we appreciate you being here. We're trying to give you the best action we can, and hopefully our voices aren't too grating here at the IG Cup number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com and by SteelSeries, our new sponsor we just announced this week, and of course by our other sponsors, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jiu-Jitsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, going to be jumping into our second game here, Red Mage. Where are we heading to?
Looking for that right now as we as we're there it is. We're going to be going to MLG's Xel'Naga Caverns, of all places, right there. So this is going to be mama's milk, as we always say. If you lose your first map, usually your second one's usually going to be either Xel'Naga or Metalopolis. But we have seen a huge shift in that. A lot more players have been going to something like Shakuras or Tal'Darim, or one of the larger maps to have a little bit more room to breathe and do. But on a PvP like this, these two massive competitors can do pretty well on a small map like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So zooming into the action now, more PvP action. We've had a lot of PvP so far. And don't worry, we do have Terrans and Zerg and all that fun stuff in our matchups. We're just going to be bringing you those immediately. We jumped in with RSVP, and he won quite handily in the early rounds, so he's a little bit ahead right now. One of the few guys that's open for us to stream. Going to be bringing you some Z and some T action. I got to take a look at the brackets. I know that Demaga was signed up to play this evening. I hope he made it. I would love to see Demaga play. We've worked with some of the bigger names in North American esports so far. But, it's always fun when we get to work with people that are making the jump over from the EU server and all that fun stuff. But oh, wow, already Pylon planted down at the bottom here by RSVP. So going to be a little bit of early cheese. Probably going to be proxy 2-gate, some 2-gate aggression right off the bat. But yeah, of all the people we've worked with, Demaga is one of those guys that I've just been really, really wanting to get a chance to work with directly for a long time. And I hope we're going to get to do that later on. Not just for my benefit and for its Gosu's benefit, but I know there's a lot of people watching the stream who would love to see Demaga play as well. So RSVP's got the first gateway down. Valor has not spotted it yet. He's moving the probe out. He's going to see it immediately, though. So already we've got... and a forge. So it's going to be a gateway forge. Coming out here from RSVP, going to look to do the cannon rush right off the bat. And now Valor's really got to go into crisis control, getting his forge down pretty quickly. And that's really how you have to try and deal with this. If you're on the defensive, you got to get your own defensive cannons up to stop the encroachment of the enemy's cannons.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely it's so true right here. This is the opening that we see so often from WBC, and this is just one of those things that you're absolutely right. That's exactly what he needs to do. Start laying down cannons and such, and we see that down goes the first cannon for RSVP inside the base. Right there in the corner, so he's going to be just in time to really start putting hurting on any of those probes that are going to come out and try to lay down something if he can get that up and running in time.
Well, it looks like this cannon of RSVP is going to be in range of the forge and the gateway. I'm not liking that Valor placed that cannon back. He needs to get that cannon in an offensive position. Putting it back there, I mean, it helps deal with the Zealot aggression. This one Zealot's really going to make the difference, how well it's microed, how many probes it can take out. The cannon finishes now for RSVP. Beginning to lay into that gateway immediately. A second Zealot joins the fray here. Valor pulling his own Zealot back to try and deal with this. It's going to be probes and a Zealot versus the two Zealots. Two Zealot Raiders, the Vikings of this matchup here of RSVP. And again, it comes down to micros so much, how well this can be controlled. The second cannon now down for RSVP right near the middle line in the Nexus. And I don't think Valor's going to be able to come out on top here, my friend.
I don't think so either. Unfortunately, yeah, this looks like a great job here by RSVP trying to control the very early sections.
Well, we see a cannon down back at RSVP's base by Valor, though. That I was wondering whether those minerals win, why you hadn't built another cannon. Placed right in range in the Nexus, and RSVP has not pulled any probes to deal with it. So, a desperation move without a doubt by Valor. The Forge, now this is big. The Forge being shot at now by this cannon of RSVP. Not going to be able to repair it. Don't you wish you were tearing at the moment? But now the Zealots of RSVP targeting down the Nexus. The probes are essentially completely finished off here by Valor. But this one cannon laying into the main of RSVP right now. So just another bizarre PvP.
Oh yeah, and the unfortunate thing for Valor is that he did not have an excess amount of minerals, and he's having to move his probes all the way back up now to lay down that second cannon. He's definitely not going to be able to complete tearing out everything that RSVP has prior to RSVP, of course, being able to just murder absolutely everything in Valor's base. He did take the natural of Valor as well, so. Now we see that there's the GG by Valor just because there's nothing he can really do.
I was just getting ready to say, he could have extended that a bit and been a pain in the ass by planting more cannons, but it looks like he was just willing to take the loss. And I got to give Valor credit, by the way. The first thing, I'm not sure if the streamers caught it, that Valor did when he jumped into this first game against RSVP was congratulate him for his performance at MLG. So, when he says GG LOL, that's a good-natured GG. So congrats to Valor for being an awesome guy. Congrats to RSVP for continuing to just kind of tear through our bracket, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. He's just ransacking the whole thing. I'm going to see if I can't grab an earlier game here, make sure we don't get too far ahead. Here, let's try to get some other people while you go ahead and run through our sponsors again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So this is our sponsors. This is our IG Cup number 8, I should say, brought to you by StillSeries, by Cyberground.us, by Max Integration, and by Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So I think I just got a report in from one of our admins. There was an issue with the stream a second ago. The game, for whatever reason, wasn't loading up. And that might be due to the fact that we haven't updated XSplit. There was another update put out by XSplit just this week. And I didn't get it because I didn't want to screw things up for the stream today. So, but yeah, if there was an issue, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully, it won't be an issue in the future. So just call that out on the stream. Either myself or Red Mage will usually notice that if it happens again. All you pretty much missed was a cannon rush. But anyway, thanks so much to everyone hanging out with us in the stream, by the way, that's sticking around with us despite the fact that we're competing with the Team Liquid Open. I shouldn't say competing, because it's not like we want to take their viewers either. In fact, go to Warp Prism. Go Google Warp Prism. It was basically a browser application that was invented or developed by a Redditor that allows you to more adequately manage your streams. You can watch multiple streams, control volume, control all that fun stuff. And just put in like Warp Prism Reddit or Warp Prism, Warp Prism StarCraft 2, and you'll probably wind up there on Google. And that way you can watch us and you can watch the Team Liquid Open. So where are we at, Red Mage? We got any in our next match lined up? Looks like we do. Who are we going to watch?
We're going to watch July 2 take on Upset. These are two very new competitors here. At least to my knowledge, I believe we with our new pickup here from Zeke, we've now started posting a lot of events on Zeke as well.
Right.
Just to get just to let more of the community know. Usually we stuck to TL or our own site and things like that, but a lot of players were telling us, hey, we watch a lot of Zeke. Can you just keep the Zeke community in line? So we did, and we've actually taken on a lot of Zeke competitors this week. So I hope that they have as much of a great time as it is. I know I kind of messed up a little bit with the whole scheduling thing. So it was definitely my bad, and I did send everybody an email apologizing for it. But I did mess it up a little bit. But it was my first time using Zeke, so
not a problem.
I do want to send the guys over there at Zeke, Fletch and things like that, because those guys were great. They helped me try to fix it and get things under control. So great bunch of guys over there at Zeke. So if you're looking for some great action, try it Gosu first, but definitely go see our friends over there at Zeke.
Well, given that we're going to be posting on it, we're going to be posting on Zeke from now on. Try, but it doesn't matter. Try go to Zeke only if you like. Just make sure you wind up at itsgosu.com, because we love you. We love each and every person hanging out in the stream and hanging out and all of our players. So it looks like we're going to be jumping into the match, getting the ready check right now. July 2, an upset. I'm not terribly familiar with these players. If anybody is, then hey, call out who you want to win, do your own thing, whatever. Any name with any screen name with July in it, just because I'm an old Brood War guy, makes me grin, makes me smile, makes me remember the days of Battle.net way back in the day when every name of every Zerg player ever had July somewhere in it. Or if not July, then at least Zerg. Because there was July Zerg, then you see like August Zerg, and then like November Zerg, and Winter Zerg, Spring Zerg. Yeah, back in the days when Battle.net didn't really give a shit how many nicknames you had. So, oh, how things have changed. Back in the days of LAN parties, actual, real, true-to-life LAN parties for StarCraft. Someday we'll see that. One can only hope. I actually heard something pretty... I don't know if you want to call it interesting, but something pretty, I don't know what the word would be. Something that made my eyebrows shoot up. I was listening to Inside the Game, DJ Wheat's weekly talk show. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. I can't remember. And apparently back in the day, like back when StarCraft 2 was in development, they had LAN support for StarCraft 2. So whenever there's all the complaints about whether there's ever going to be LAN support to solve some of the lag issues at major events, anytime they delay it, it's not because they don't have it. They've had it since, like, beta. And to me, that just kind of made me sit back and go, why, oh why, would you not, even if you don't lease it out to everyone, make it available to MLG, please. Please, can we do that?
Yeah, it would have alleviated a lot of issues with any of those major events. Like, because, it's funny because at BlizzCon, it's all done there in-house because they just rolled the thing over there. But, yeah, for, like, big events like MLG, yeah, you definitely need something like that, which would be great.
Right.
To just have that ability. Yeah, because that was the best thing about the old days was, and actually I'm told I was actually chit-chatting with July 2 to kind of wave off subject again. It's actually Techno Boy is who July 2 is.
Oh, okay.
That's his MLG and pro gaming name. So I guess this is his secondary account. So yeah, it's actually Techno Boy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there you go. So he was like, can you guys refer to me as Techno Boy, please? So yes. All right. So
Techno Boy it is.
So Techno Boy versus Upset right there. I will only call you Techno Boy if you I will only call you Techno Boy if you vote for the medic in the medic versus Banshee.
No, you can't buy votes just because your chick is not as hot, just because your chick is some scraggly-ass nursing student. No. You want to take the nursing student, that's fine. Take the nursing student. I will take the super hot Air Force pilot in bondage leather, okay? Any day of the friggin' week.
But we're back here on Shakuras Plateau. I'm Red Mage JR. With me, as always, your pro commentator and my bromancer, and on the losing side of the Banshee. It's AC.
Oh, is that what it is now? I love how we cherry picked the one time. The one time we actually had a good poll that went for a while. If I'm not mistaken, the Banshee came out ahead. Other times you're just like, all right, guys, who's hotter? And 3 people call out medic. You go, oh, it's over. Poll's done.
It's over. It's all done. That's just the way it is. It's like when you lose to somebody like 100 times and you win just one time because you call them up at like 3 a.m. or something and they're dog tired and you win by just an absolute landslide. You just refuse to play ever again just because.
Oh, exactly.
That's just the way it is.
All right, so we're going to have July 2 an upset here and a TVP on Shakuras Plateau. Upset our Blue Terran hero down on the bottom right in July 2, or Techno Boy, as he wishes to be called. And I got to admit, Techno Boy's a name I recognize and I've heard. And he said that's his professional gaming name. Did he play at MLG?
I believe so.
I have no idea how he came out. It seems like I remember seeing his name somewhere. I just can't remember how deep or if he went deep at all, really.
Yeah, and so yeah, we'll go with that.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know where he. I don't know where he placed or anything like that, and so it's good. It's that he had an opportunity to come out here into this. Apparently, he's playing in another cup as well. So we're actually fighting
probably the TL Open.
Plus,
Probably the TL Open.
He's probably the TLL. So, he chose us first over the TLO. So I will definitely take that as a great sign. Thank you very much, Techno Boy.
He just likes our casting, man. That's all it is. He likes.
That's exactly right.
I mean, who doesn't want to play and have us talk about Casper Van Dien over top of it? I mean, really, what an honor that is.
And such.
Yeah, us two knuckleheads To use another JR-ism.
The chuckleheads that we are, yes. Right there. Upset, doing whatever he can to keep out that probe there from Astro Boy.
Get out! Oh yeah.
Wait, just slowly kicking him in the face, like like Ralphie in A Christmas Story. Like, no, wait, I know what I want. And he just kicks him in the face.
Or whenever he beats up the blue, Rassafrezen, gosh, Rassafrezen. But anyway, we see the gas down from Upset, so we're not going to see any kind of crazy no gas expand. He's actually throwing down a second barracks immediately, even before he gets the command center started. So maybe looking to put on a little bit of early aggression, or maybe just trying to deal with any kind of aggression out of his Protoss opponent, and really, it's I've seen this in waves. Like, it seems like it's like a fad. It comes up and it goes down. But one of my favorite things in the world to see in a PvT is super duper early aggression, like 2 stalkers and a zealot, 1 stalker and a zealot, and pushing the ramp. And it's amazing how many Marines and SCVs you can kill with like 2 stalkers and a zealot. Like, it is bizarrely powerful before the 5-minute mark to get that out on the map. So maybe Upset just trying to account for that. Now he's getting down the command center. So. Just more of a safe, fast expand as opposed to a more hyper fast, hyper aggressive, economic oriented fast expand. The bunker goes down to defend now as well. And July 2 not going to be left in the dust. Got his Nexus going down as well. Let's see, is he actually ahead? No, he's actually ahead with his Nexus. So he got his Nexus down just a smidge ahead of his opponent. So looks like we're going to have a macro game, my friend. And that's not that we don't love our SVP, but given that we saw a bunch of PvP super hyper early aggression games, kind of happy that we're going to get to cast a long game.
Oh yeah, and it's odd, on Shakur's Plateau we've seen a lot more players going for that early Reaper aggression right off the bat, and even Astro Boy was waiting for something like that because he did place that pylon right there by that back end hallway. So he was definitely expecting something to go on, and right now you see him, he's going through and moving that stalk around. He really thinks that there might be some sort of aggression going there, which is completely understandable. That is great game sense to think that
right.
your opponent may be doing that. A lot of times you see a lot of players just kind of forget about it.
Well, in these spawn positions, you got to be conscious of the Reaper if for no other reason than a scout. He wants to pick that scout off early. He knows his opponent's not going to have medevacs. I mean, even if he was one basing right now, there'd be no possibility for medevacs. But that's
AC, hate to cut you off in midstream. The thing switched over again, so they can't see the game.
Well, that makes no sense. Okay, how's that, guys?
It's being a jerk. So.
Yeah, I have no idea what the issue with that is, because I know I checked it when we started to make sure that it was up on the game. So.
Yep, there we go. Yep, yeah, it was on there. It just clicked off for some reason.
Okay, yeah. So that's not me, guys. I'm not sure why XSplit's being a bitch. Hopefully that'll won't be happening anymore. That's just flat out irritating.
Is the server on an ancient Indian burial ground? Did they move the tombstones but leave the bodies?
I have no clue. Well, we've had anyone who works with XSplit knows that their servers are kind of finicky. You never really know exactly what kind of a day you're going to have with an XSplit server. So, anyway, back into the action. Upset beginning to tack on Marauders into his mix. He's already got the combat shield and the stem on the way, so doesn't look like he's got the concussive shell yet. That's a little bit strange to me. Usually, if you're going to favor bio against a Protoss opponent, the concussive shell is going to be the first upgrade you pull along with stem. Instead, looks like he wants to favor Marines, and there's nothing inviolable about that at all. Marines, for in a TVP, they kind of have a weird function. They do much better in small numbers than in large numbers. So if you have even a well-upgraded Marine force and you run into a death ball of a Protoss, it's like it looks like it gets mauled to death early on, and it kind of does, but the smaller the numbers get in terms of army size, the better Marines tend to be because of their superior DPS. So the Observer is going to spot this aggression moving out from Upset. Both players tied in supply, so very, very close in terms of what seems to be their skill level. Scan's going to go down. Looks like Upset wants to try and push. He's going to stem right up. Oh, he's going to get cut in half. Beautiful force fields there by July. Cuts off a handful of Marines and 2 Marauders. He's going to lose 1 Stalker, though. Actually lost a Sentry, warping in 2 Zealots now to continue to try and deal with this. The Observer's going to have a look at things. Now, that's the second time that Upset has stemmed this bio ball, and that really begins to take a toll. And wow, July 2 forced to pull back, and now the probes have to pull off. The stem is worn off again. There's another stem, so every time he does that without medevac support, his army just gets a little bit weaker. But it looks like Technoboy / July 2 in quite a bit of trouble at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. He is up now, and there goes yet another stem on Upset's part, and that kind of ruined it for him. He had a terrific opportunity there to come ahead just a little bit, and that kind of messed it up a little bit. He really needs to get us some medevacs or something. Instead, he's going to throw down yet some more barracks. He really
he did it. He killed so many probes there. I mean, yeah, July 2 / Techno Boy. You're going to hear me alternate between the names, by the way. So, he asked us to call him Techno Boy because that's apparently his pro gaming name or what have you. But anyway,
it's his stage name. Yeah,
his stage name. It's his stripper name. But he was able to clean that up, but he lost so many pros, probably more than a dozen or so. Now he's tacking on Colossus into the mix, and it's really going to come down to how the game sense of upset. Is he going to start to favor Marauders more than Marines? That's really the response to high Colossus count if your opponent's going for Colossus instead of robotics facility tech favoring Immortals. So looks like he's starting to favor, still about a 50-50 mix. He's tacking on another reactor and another tech lab, though, so going to stick with that. No medevac yet, and absolutely no starport to speak of out yet, so he has no interest in keeping these guys alive. Second worst medical plan in the world.
There you go. And what's funny now is you're seeing that the Techno Boy is he's rolling out these Colossus, instead of just having them camp out there, a great way to make that entire army.
Here we go. The SCV's going to push up now. They're going to lead the way, going to rush the ramp, the stem immediately up the ramp. Those Colossus really going to have to be handled quite well. They're going to be targeted down very easily if he's not careful. One already down into the orange, the other still at full health. Another stem. So much of these Marauders' health is being not wasted, but just eaten up by the stem. The one Colossus does fall. The other stays up, though. But still, the Marauder count, 3 Marauders and 1 Marine, going to be a little bit problematic with the concussive shell, but finally going to be chased out. We don't see any real reinforcements being rallied. A couple stray Marauders. Looks like maybe even on a bad rally point going to be rushing up here to get slaughtered. Yeah, I'm going to say that's a bad rally point, so a little bit of a waste of units there, but and Techno Boy taking his third in the midst of all this, though, and that's really just such a good indicator of true pro gaming sense, where you're under aggression, you're losing units, your opponent's beating down your door, you've lost a ton of probes, and even as you're in panic mode, even as you're in crisis control, you just go, okay, this seems like a good time to expand, because he knows his opponent's putting a lot into it, and if he's able to hold things now, all he has to do is continue to produce at the same rate, and he should be able to hold it almost indefinitely.
Oh, yeah, and now we see that factory is going down right now, so that's smart. He could either be transferring it into some sort of tank play. I'm hoping, and you're hoping, I'm sure, he's going to go in for a starport as well, just to try to do something. But, a good thing that, Protoss could do that I've never really seen is that they could send those Colossus along that back-end hallway there and just come up right into the mineral line. I hardly ever see that from Protoss on this particular map.
Oh, yeah. If you combine that with Blink Stalkers, that they can actually blink up and down, that can be such an unbelievably viable and deadly attack path. But Upset did he spotted this third here of Techno Boy / July 2, so he's going to be caught in the middle of trying to run over there, though. Good reaction time, though, going to allow him to stem. He's going to be able to kite for quite a while if he chooses to do so. Instead, opting to target down the Colossus. 2 of the 3 dead, the third running for its life, trying to get up the little ledge here. But a really devastating attack there for Techno Boy. Lost a lot there. Lost 2 Colossus. So many minerals and gas lost in that. Now Upset instead says, okay, that's fine. You want to run over and protect your third? I'll take a free shot at your natural. The Colossus coming back out to engage. Going to be caught a little bit undefended, though. So fragile are Colossi when they don't have good defense. Target firing down the Nexus, and while the probes continue to attack. Oh, wow. 8 hit points on the Nexus. That's amazing. Able to clean that up with the most slim of margins to keep that second base up and mining, and a big-time misstep there, I'd say, by Upset, who opted to pull and not fire down the Nexus, even though he had the units to do it.
Oh, yeah, Upset doing a great job now, trying to throw a little bit more of a pressure on that third base right now. The Zealots, of course, rolling into completely decimated, but, that's still smart. Try to keep that
Oh, he sneaks in with 1 Marauder and 1 Marine and manages to take it out. Immediately going to be rebuilt by July, but that is such a big snipe down there, given an Upset still on 2 bases. He's falling further and further behind in supply, but he's definitely ahead in terms of aggression. And just a look at this little army here by Techno Boy. Just 2 Colossus and what? Let's see. Okay, so now some Stalkers are joining. Not quite as fragile, but, Colossus without good support and without a good large army around them just looks so naked and so fragile.
Oh yeah, well, because it's the little skinny legs. That's exactly what they do. They kind of look like a little wishbone. You want to snap them in half. That's about it. We do see a lot of Vikings coming out of upset right now. That's very smart considering all the Colossus that Astro. I want to call him Astro Boy for some reason. Techno Boy wants to roll out. You know, and he's still favoring that bio ball, and finally gets out of medevac. There you go. So now we're going to see some medevac to heal up all that, and that medic chick is going to be completely worn out because she's the only one on the board so far, and the amount of times that he stims, not only is he going to have to set up some sort of, you know, addiction clinic, but he's going to have to wait for so much energy to pour out of that thing. It's going to be insane.
Okay, this is a bad reference, but I don't care. As soon as you said addiction clinic, you ever see Death to Smoochie?
Yes.
You remember the addiction clinic he sung at?
Yes.
That's for whatever reason. That's immediate. You said addiction clinic, and I thought, yeah, Death to Smoochie. That makes sense. Anyway, there's the stem. Gonna be the engagement right in the shadow of the third year of Techno Boy. Techno Boy has been under so much assault. The Vikings doing their work as best they can. The Stalkers being used very effectively, though, to beat this back. Target firing down those Vikings to prevent the sniping of the Colossus. The Colossus, now that they've got the support they've needed all match, are so fearsome. They've got the extended thermal lance upgrade, so they're able to just deal with the kiting here out of these Marauders. The concussive shell only so effective, and for the first time, it looks like July actually has control of his side of the map.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did such a great job, really repelling that. The battle didn't even get taken into the bases. He pretty much had it handled right in the center of the map, and that's the absolute best thing. As long as you can continue to move back without moving into your base, you know, that is a very good map control right there. We do see him. You know, we do see that that Techno Boy is taking the fourth as Upset is trying to take his third right now, going up the sides, taking up the naturals and the mains as opposed to going forward on the map, you know, taking the lower thirds, or even into the center of the map. So this is going to be a very interesting choice here to see if who gets spotted first, so to speak.
Right. Well, as the Colossus count grows right now, Upset has got to be conscious of the fact he hasn't seen any kind of Stargate play out of his opponent. The Marines are effective in their own right. Don't get me wrong. But really, the Vikings, that's great, but he needs to get more medevacs on the map, and he needs to start replacing those Marines with Marauders. As we move into the late game now, well past the 20-minute mark, Marauders are really going to be the name of the game. The Colossus just do not do damage to Marauders the way that they do to any other sort of a bio unit. And really, if he continues to favor this Marine, I won't say heavy, but I mean, yeah, he's got 25 Marines, and he's got more Marines than Marauders, we'll put it that way. He needs to start mixing in more and more Marauders. He's going to be well behind in terms of economy, just because, you know, July was beaten and broken and bruised the entire mid game of this match, and managed to finally hold and finally force his opponent back across. And because of that, Upset behind a base now, just now getting his third up and going as his main is already mined out. So July also tacking on a Dark Shrine and a Templar Archive. So says, screw it, I want every tech building possible, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit to see him get that Stargate just because he's awesome.
Oh yeah, you know, and you know, this is, I was actually just getting ready to say something like this. This would be the perfect opportunity to throw down a Dark Shrine to get those Dark Templar, because there's going to be no detection.
Major engagement here in the middle. I was watching the drop at the top. The Zealot count now for July is gigantically huge, and that's actually going to force the GG. So just by adding on all the Zealots with charge, Techno Boy / July 2 able to secure the GG, and is going to lead this best of 3 series 1-0.
That was such a great outcome right there. You know, both of these guys just really holding true to what they wanted to do, and really had a great plan. So, you know, can't wait to see what's going to come up here in this best of 3 series here. You know, in the IG Cup number 8 here, brought to you by itsgosu.com. I'm Red Mage JR. With me as always, AC. AC, tell us, how are the sponsors doing lately? How do we, you know, what have they been up to?
Oh, well, we've, you know, in case you haven't figured it out by the new banner that's down at the bottom of our little splash screen here, Steel Series has been added as an official sponsor of IG. And as you can imagine, it's pretty freaking exciting, man. One of the biggest esports sponsors going has thrown in with us. That's going to allow us to expand our prize pools to have more and more events. And the timing of it just impeccable as we arc through the end of our 2011 tournament series, heading towards the kickoff of our summer series starting next month. And we've already got some pretty big things planned, man. You know, it's I know you're well aware of it, but For those of you who are IG fans, or maybe this is your first time here, we do 20 events a month, more than $2,500 in cash and prizes given out just this spring alone, and we're going to expand on that in, heading into the summer. We're looking to have probably tack on one another 4 or 5 events, something like that, some absurd number. And we're going to be up to almost literally almost every day we're going to be doing something. So looking to expand on the EU server, going to be trying to have some EU tournaments. And also going to be adjusting slightly how we do our Alpha, Beta, and Omega divisionals. We're going to be having 4 instead of 3 a month, most likely. Again, nothing finalized, but that's the plan. And we're going to be staggering the start time. So 2 of those are going to start at the optimum time for the East Coast, and 2 of those will start at the optimum time for the West Coast. Now, East and West Coast people both can join any of our tournaments. That doesn't matter. We're just going to be changing up the start time just so we can be more accommodating to our friends out west, since we're primarily an East Coast-based group of folks. So.
That's right. We're in the game.
Yep, I was actually watching. Thank you very much. Actually watching this time. So, yes, we're there right now. Upset in July 2 in this second game of the best of 3 series. July 2 leading the series, 1-0, and Upset was so good with the aggression early on there, but just wasn't able to follow through. July able to deal with it and handle it, and by the time he was able to finally force his opponent back across the map and onto his side of the map, he was at a staggering economic advantage. His opponent just stayed on 2 bases entirely too long, and Techno Boy / July 2 was able to secure the victory there. So, did we ever get an update on how Techno Boy did at MLG? I'm just curious.
I'm still looking that up right as we speak, so I'm still trying to find that out. But I guess a real big thing that we kind of need to do, besides thanking everybody behind the scenes like Mr. Mini-Me and Voss and Dark, but we also want to thank you, the fans, because we could not have gotten SteelSeries as a sponsor if you did not follow us on Justin TV. So we definitely want to thank everybody for that, because that was one of the biggest things is that we wanted to show them that we were getting followers, that we were doing this, not just for fun, but we were actually doing this to really bring to the community. So we did. I wanted to personally thank on behalf of all the IG staff here that we definitely thank you all for following us and making sure that you try to tune in at least once a week to see what we're doing and continue to support us in what we do. So that's our little mention out there. To
Very
the fans.
Well said, my friend. And speaking of following us on Justin TV, if they're willing to do that, send us an email. We got some stuff to give away, don't we?
We sure do. We're still giving away. We're actually. I've just been told we're going to give away 10 packs of Magic cards today. 10 packs. Usually we were just going to do the 5, but our sponsor, our Great Martial Arts sponsor, has said that they will give us 10 packs to give away today. And those, of course, are limited edition Magic the Gathering Planeswalker Series game packs. They were only available for sale at the New York Comic Convention in 2010, and we have been given a huge stack of these suckers, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Even if you're not a Magic fan, if you just like cool art like me, it's pretty cool. If you have a friend that likes them, and the way that you can win these is honestly all you have to do is just be a follower of ours on Justin TV or TwitchTV.com. Now that's new; it's basically the same thing, but
whatever.
Email us at contest@itsgosu.com. Just give me just give us your little nickname there for Justin/Twitch TV, and we'll enter you in the pot to give away now 10 of these, and we're hitting a good amount of people right now sending us just little emails, and that's it. And that's the best thing. And you can either get pizza money with it, or you can make a really kicking Magic card.
Well, and it comes down to this. It's like I hate to put it this way because it makes it sound kind of white trash, but in a way, it's like a scratch-off ticket, man. I mean, even if you don't really play Magic and you just want to sell whatever you get. I mean, yeah, you're guaranteed, at least $15-20. That's like the wholesale value of these, by the way. So you can probably get more out of that in a retail setting if you sell it on eBay. But anyway, or you could roll the dice and go, you know what, I'm going to open this sucker up. And I know for a fact, we've looked it up, there are multiple cards worth more than $100 in those decks, are they not?
Oh yeah, and if you get the Primo card, it's like $100. $120 something for that one card. So
Right.
you could easily make yourself some great summertime fun money,
Right.
or start buying up those books for the next college season if you're so inclined. So.
Yeah, well, by the way, I know there's been a lot of graduation on as a competitor tonight. I'm not even sure if he's still in the tournament, if he advanced, but just to him in particular, he mentioned it to me in passing. He's a good friend of IG. He graduated just last week, so congratulations to On. And each and every grad, if you're in the chat, by the way, or you're a competitor maybe going back, let us know that you're a grad, and we'll see if we can't give you a shout-out or do whatever we can. Congratulations to all the grads moving into summer. And you know what that means for us? That means you have no excuse to not play in more IG events. Literally none. I don't want to hear, I got school in the morning, your events, I don't want to play that late. No. It's fine. School's not a problem anymore. I expect you at every single event, period. So...
That's right.
There, I said it. Fine. Nexus going down now for Technoboy / July 2 if you're just joining us. Going to be spotted by Upset with his early Marauders. He's going to force the cancel, almost certainly. Sentries, engaging this with this many Sentries and a Stalker is just, even with another Stalker, so chancy. Force Field's really going to have to be good. He cuts off a good number. Great Force Field there, cutting him off all the way down to the hole. Forced the army to move just the way he wanted to. So really some impeccable control here by July, showing why he's an MLG caliber competitor, even controlling the Sentries and microing those back to make sure he doesn't lose any. So that was a bit of a chancy decision there, but he handled it just fine, used great force fields, and now I got to say he's probably going to be quite a bit in the lead. He's got the money to expand again, and he's going to be able to apply a little bit of a pressure and keep Upset from expanding as well.
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to dig in and see where Technoboy wound up.
I think he spells boy B-O-I. I think.
Yeah. I think it's the Avril Lavigne style or the skater style. Whatever.
Yeah. By the way, his name is now Avril. Since we give everyone names that they
Avril, that's right.
So we give everyone names they don't want just because if you spell boy B-O-I, I'm going to make fun of you. I'm sorry. I'm going to. It's going to happen. But anyway, the command center going down now for Upset down at the south, and in the meantime, July's Nexus just about halfway done. So both players kind of on even grounds here. July opted not to try and push too much. I think he could have afforded, at least for a little while, to maybe try and delay this expansion, but instead opting to take the safe play. And Upset still favoring this extremely heavy bio army. I love this play style in a TVP. Where you just basically the plan is to pour on aggression, expand when you can, tech if and when you can, but rely on your own control and your own army strength to try and deal with a Protoss that plays the way July does, which is very safe and very solid and standard.
Oh yeah, and as we see now that he's putting down a couple of just rally pylons kind of in odd places around the map, which I guess is good to kind of create.
He's going to be able to pick off a handful
like
of these Stalkers here in the middle there. That's actually kind of big for July, given that July is trying to favor such a thin army defense. He managed to catch 2 or 3 Stalkers out of position. Now he's going to split his forces up. I love this. Going to stem them in from different sides. 2 Immortals out, though. Force fields go down, cut off a handful of those Marauders. The Immortal on the right side, though, left completely naked, falls immediately. Another stem goes down, targeting down the second Immortal. That Immortal falls, and it does. All of a sudden, July is looking very, very thin. More units being rallied across the map by Upset. The Zealots, though, going to come in, but with good control, he may be able to do a little bit more damage. The force fields, though, going to help deal with that. So, again, you can't fault Upset. It's not like these attacks are bad. It's just July / Avril / Technoboy is showing off some really good control and understanding of the mechanics of how an early game army should work for a Protoss taking on a Bio Ball. Really shouldn't have lost both of those Immortals, to be honest. Could have stood to have had a little bit better micro there. Either way, he comes out on top. And he's actually on top right now in terms of supply as Nexus is up and mining. And Upset, though, not too far behind. Their orbital command almost finished down at the south as well.
Oh yeah, and we're still receiving lots and lots of emails. So yes, for those of you who didn't hear, we need you to send us your JustinTV / Twitch TV nickname there to contest at itsghosty.com. You can win some limited edition Magic
Have to
cards.
Be a follower. Have to be a follower.
Yeah, you have to be a follower. That's the only thing. So you just got to click the little follow button right there. Because I know a ton of people were just sending me some new emails asking me how can I win. That's literally it. That is the easiest contest in the world. You don't have to like stack nuts on top of each other. You don't have to throw stuff into a paper cup. You can you only need 30 seconds
nuts on top of each other.
That's right. Yeah, it's the weird like on Minute to Win It. Like that's a thing. You have to just stack nuts on top of each other.
That sounds so dirty. It just
yeah, it does. I'm waiting for the porno version of that to come out at some point.
I gotta say, if there was a porno that involves stacking nuts to win Magic cards, I would be a fan. Okay, I would hit like on Facebook on that. Okay. So, by the way, guys, speaking of, if you happen to be here with us, please hit like and please hit follow and please hit tweet and what have you. All that stuff. It's because of that stuff and the efforts of all of our viewers that we landed the Steel Series sponsorship. We'd like to land even more. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. The engagement here, Upset's going to rush in and target down one of those Colossus, but the great force fields, again, allowing July to just deal with this so effectively. More force fields going down, and really, when you watch such great control here, you got to, wow. Automatically just going to GG. Upset says, you know what, that's fine, man. I'm done. Great force fields, G freaking G, bro. So July 2 / Avril / Technoboy, which is his actual name apparently. We're going to try and figure out how he did at MLG or if he even competed. Somebody mentioned he did, so we're trying to figure that out for you. But anyway, he's going to advance 2-0 over Upset here at our IG Cup number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
Yeah, absolutely right, AC. We definitely want to thank everybody for turning out tonight to watch us live on twitchtv.com and justintv.com, also on the itsgosu.com main site there. And definitely for hanging out with me in the chat there while we hang out and get some games together. We hope you are all having a really great time. Please, like AC said, hit that follow button on there. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Bookmark us on your browser of choice. Of course, we do prefer the Chrome. I am a converter to the Chrome because I used to be a Firefox person, but I was converted to Chrome because it is a little bit superior. I can continue to watch my Hulu without constant flash crashes. So.
Right.
So we just, as I'm trying to lead in while I try to find new matches for us to watch.
Right.
And give you an opportunity to take a break for that lovely, illustrious voice that you have, my friend.
Oh, goodness. No, yeah, all is well, my friend. I'm just checking into things, just checking to see how things are going over at TL. Looking to see, I see that This Is Jimmy is actually streaming his things tonight under the IG Cup as well. So either way, hopefully This Is Jimmy, guys. Come over to the mainstream. Pretty please. We really appreciate it. I know you can't hear my voice, but maybe somebody that's got This Is Jimmy stream open as well. Please tell them, all the people that are hanging out in that stream, if they're not already here, to jump on over and watch our stream as well. But anyway, yeah, I mean, great times right now. We take a look at the bracket. Things are already beginning to shape up. We're moving towards the round of 16, and it looks like, yeah, July 2 is already in the round of 16. Deezer, This Is Jimmy's there. Well, let's try and get in with This Is Jimmy, by the way, Red Mage, if we can. Love to jump into that game. VP Dopa, Call Our SVP, no surprise there. Bingling, and who else? Who else has made it? VG Dave, OTL Tada. And let's see, where's Dodoro? I know Dodoro was buried in our bracket somewhere. He's surely has made it. Oh, wow.
He's still playing versus Tekken.
Wow, Demaga did show up, and he was eliminated in the round of 64.
But what?
Yes. Holy crap.
I don't know if that. I mean, well, I don't want to discredit anybody there, but that could be like one of the situations where we did have a very pronounced, a very profound EU player that let his buddy play on his account.
Well, his name is Shmoo. Shmoo was the guy that apparently knocked him out. He's in the round of 32 against Covertly right now. Ooh. So, I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, that's. Yeah, as you can imagine, it's a smidge surprising. Just a smidge. Root Dodoro is in the round of 32, taking on Tekken right now. And if he wins that matchup, by the way, the winner of that matchup, I should say, will actually be matching up with July, too. So, gonna be some good games there. But looks like This Is Jimmy and Torrid Voice. Hopefully, we're going to be able to bring you that series immediately. What's the status on that, brother?
Still waiting to see where This Is Jimmy and Torrid Voice are in their matchups there. I want to believe that they're either almost done or going in, almost finishing up their second game, considering the timestamps on things. So I'm definitely going to work on seeing if I can't grab into one of those real quick.
Absolutely, no problem. In the meantime, that gives me time to talk about all of the great sponsors who help make this possible. But again, you already did it, Red Mage. I'm going to do it as well. The guys that really make this possible are each and every one of you hanging out with us in the stream, and all of our players. It doesn't matter how much sponsorship money we had. If we didn't have you guys hanging out and watching these games and listening to us, and we didn't have our great players showcasing all the great skills, we would be nothing. So thanks to each and every one of you all, first and foremost. Behind that, though, special thanks to SteelSeries, our brand new sponsor. Just announced them this week. So excited. Going to be expanding a lot of our events and a lot of our prize pool. So look for more money and more events heading into the summer series kicking off next month. Cyberground.us, place where we have all of our live LAN events. If you're anywhere near the Northern Virginia area, or maybe if you're just you just want to get out of town sometime, keep an eye out for our live events. We would love to have you come out. You can say hi to Red Mage 9. You can meet really some of the best players in the country, MLG caliber guys like VT Avalo and Lucky Fool, etc. Max Integration, your IT technical company of choice, and of course San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, I'm actually getting a PM or two online in Battle.net about the music for tonight. The music you're hearing, you can find all the music at the links above, halotopic.newgrounds.com, myspace.com/Indigo League, and the awesome baller guy you're hearing right now, Ronald Jinkies. You can find him at ronaldjinkies.com. Buy his album, Disorganized Fun. It is so immensely good. I promise you won't be disappointed. One of my favorite albums of all time. So, Red Mage, where we at, brother?
Still digging into the nit and gritty there, my friend, trying to find us an alternative match, because since I do know that This Is Jimmy is also playing in the other one, I'm trying to make sure that we don't get held up by waiting for those matches to take place. So,
right.
Trying to jump us around into some other players here, because I'm sure This Is Jimmy will try to make it into the round of 8 or later on. So.
Absolutely. No problem, my brother. You keep doing that. I'm going to go ahead and pop our 2011 calendar up. I just want everyone that happens to be with us to look. Every box that is any color but white is a day when we are doing some event. And this doesn't even include our live events, by the way. These are just our online events. So that's, how much we're doing right now. You just heard me say, because of the SteelSeries sponsorship, we're adding more events. We're already at over 20 events per month. And we're looking to do even more. So, and it doesn't matter what level of player you are. If you're bronze, we've got something for you. We've got the beta divisionals and our open King of the Hills. If you're, all the way silver, gold, platinum, silver again can play in our betas. The gold and platinum players can play in our alpha divisionals, as well as the King of the Hill and all of our open events. So mega divisionals for our diamond, master, and grandmaster level players. Then you've got our IG cups like we have tonight. King of the Hills almost every Sunday. Faction Wars just finished up, by the way. A special congratulations to All for One Gaming, who managed to take that down. Complexity Gaming came in second place. So really a pleasure of that. I'm going to be casting some of those games and getting those up on YouTube ASAP. It's going to be kind of our highlights of the Faction Wars, so looking forward to do that as well. So keep an eye out for that. But again, just so much going on at the moment, guys. So much going to be on the horizon. And it's really the pleasure of Red Mage, myself, and of course the rest of the IG staff, Mr. Minimi, SKS, Dark, and Voss, that we get to bring you these games. We just hope that we're doing as good a job as we like to think we are. If you have any feedback, by the way, make sure you type that out, even if it's just to call us noobs. We know, not a problem. You can holler that out. But anything we can do to improve the stream or improve what we're doing to make it better for you guys, we want to know, not tomorrow, but right now. So don't be shy about that at all.
You're absolutely right about that.
Exactly. By the way, for those who maybe aren't big IG folks that follow us a lot, anytime I catch Red Mage, anytime I pause to open things up for him to speak, and he's either not paying attention or his attention is divided elsewhere, the standard pat answer is, "You're absolutely right, AC." So that's kind of the joke. Anytime you hear me make a statement and kind of leave it open for Red Mage to have a comment, and you hear a very, I love using this as an adjective, a very pregnant pause, a very pregnant delay in response, and "You're absolutely right, AC." You know what happened.
That's exactly right. I was sitting there actually typing to Grittercram and Revdime. They're actually coming into their second game right now, and I asked them if we could jump in, because most everybody else is in, either getting into is either in the middle of their first game or just started their second game. So these guys just finished up their match up there. So I think he is trying to invite you. I don't know if you're watching your StarCraft screen there. or not?
I am. No invitation.
Okay. Let me see if I can't invite. Supposed to hit that up again.
But yeah, so if you're just joining us, by the way, I've noticed our viewer count has crept up. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR. This is the IG Cup number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com and by our new lead sponsor, SteelSeries. It's a pleasure to be here with you. We've got more than $200 in cash and swag that we're giving out. So far, probably the big news of the night. I'd like to get a maybe an update on this from one of the admins. I know the admins tend to listen in on the stream while they're running the tournament as well. But the big story of the night is MTW Demaga, according to the bracket. And again, we weren't able to follow his games. We were hoping to catch him closer to the round of 16. Demaga has been eliminated. From the best I can tell, he signed up. He made it through. He got eliminated in the round of 64, according to the brackets again, by a player named Shmoo, SHMOO. So, yeah, that's kind of the big surprise at the moment. If the player's still left and battling it out. And again, a lot of these players, you know, there are some we're familiar with, some we aren't. All the players who have made it as far as they have, just amazing players. July 2, also known as Techno Boy, still hanging in there. This is Jimmy, still in there. Complexity RSVP, still battling it out. VP Dopa, still hanging out. VP Chance, a guy we know very well. TQ Kaio of Think Quick Gaming, he's still around. Let's see, who else? Dodoro, of course, GG Last Shadow. And I think I said Last Shadow already. Irrelevant. WBC. I know he signed up. Where is WBC, my friend? As he.
Hey, can they sent you an invite? Can you
Oh yeah.
Accept? Sorry.
Not a problem. You don't have to whisper. We're on a stream.
I didn't want to tell them. I wanted to seem like we were professionals.
No, it's okay. It's all right, man. We are professionals. It is not my fault whenever we get invited. Whenever I'm looking at the brackets, I'm pretty sure the folks in the stream are going to forgive me for trying to bring them information about the brackets. I'm going to hope so. So if not, guys, I prostrate myself before you and beg forgiveness. We also had one streamer just call for free popcorn. I'll tell you what. We will contact Orville Redenbacher, and we will see about a new sponsorship, perhaps the first corn-based StarCraft 2 sponsorship in history. We'll see what we can do.
Absolutely, we'll see what we can do with that. WBC was unfortunately eliminated in the round of 64 by Bingling.
Wow.
Well, yeah, absolutely amazing right there. So Bingling actually took on I'm Mysterious D and won that one 2-0. So he's making his way through the round of 32. So
by the way, those who are just joining us asking when the matches start, the matches are going on right now. We've already casted a handful of games. We're moving into another game now. But, you know, whenever you live cast these tournaments like this, sometimes you have these lulls because the bracket gets kind of ahead or behind where it needs to be, or perhaps, you know, we cast a game and we follow a player for a while and he gets a little bit behind. But we're going to be zooming right into the action just as soon as I turn down our wonderful music by Ronald Jinkies, our wonderful bumper music. So jumping right into the game, it's going to be Gridocram taking on Rev Dime. Rev Dime, a member of Revoki Gaming. I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and guess. And Revoki,
we hope so, right?
Revoki, a guy we know very, very well. So, or not a guy, yeah, since there's one guy named Revoki, because I'm a moron.
Guy.
Yeah, and guy. But Team Revoki, of course, features Revolution, a guy who won the DC LAN event, besting out players like Lucky Fool and NRG Eve just a few weeks ago. So I'm not a guy to sleep on it. A pretty darn good team, even if they're not quite as big a name as perhaps a Complexity Gaming or an EG Gaming or what have you. But anyways, EVP action, your favorite matchup because you like the shiny portraits and all that. Going to be in close air positions here on MLG Metalopolis.
Yeah, I do like the shiny pictures. I am a simple man. I am not afraid to admit it. But yeah, we see a great scouting pattern here. He knows it's the MLG, so he's sending out that Grid is sending out that Overlord to the diagonal. He's sending out the drone to the close air position. So he's definitely going to be able to see where his opponent is right now. That is fantastic. Just being aware of the map. So often do we see, even on the MLG maps, that they'll search straight to the right, and then they'll kind of make the counterclockwise or clockwise, so this is a great way to kind of speed up the process of knowing where your opponent is, what kind of stuff you think he's going to do, and we see a double gas coming out of Rev Dime right now. I don't know if that was for show or if he's going to stick with that secondary gas, but we'll see what happens here in the next couple of seconds.
Well, that drone's going to be hanging around for a while, so if he's going to get it, if he's going to fake something with it, he's going to have to use it consistently. We see the probe.
Yeah, he faked it.
Did he? Okay, yeah, he canceled it already.
He canceled it.
All right, probably trying to show a little bit of a DT rush look to put his opponent on the super defensive. His opponent, Grit, being a little bit careful already, is going with that spawning pool and that extractor first. Not going to be trying to do any kind of crazy hatch first build, but the probe here for Rev Dime already down and on patrol down near the natural expansion. Going to look to do some kind of a block with the pylon, just be generally annoying as he possibly can. Back at home, Rev Dime going straight up from Gateway to Cybernetics Core, now tacking on the second gas. That drone of Grit surely spotted that it was canceled and started again, so he knows that even if he loses that drone in the near future, he's not going to have to worry about DTs or at least any kind of super fast, super early airplay. The drone and the Zerglings now coming down to try and chase this probe away. Dime pushed out of the way. No, he does get the block, so still being annoying. Gets the pylon down and going to delay things just a little bit. Good micro there by Dime, though, to just, again, be generally annoying and force his opponent to kind of do something he may not have wanted to do. Going straight up to the Queen instead of getting the expansion when he wanted and tacking on 4 extra Zerglings as well. Dime already planning the pylon down at the bottom of his ramp, so looking to take a Nexus sometime in the near future, going ahead and putting his second gateway down to try and make the beginnings of that wall as well.
Yeah, and you know, I hate putting the wall right there. I do. I'm so anti-wall right there for Protoss because, you know, and not so much because you know, as a Terra player, I can just send in Reapers, and then he's going to have to run all the way around to try to get in there. So it worked great for me. He's going to have to funnel into his own little bottleneck there. But for it makes no logical sense. You are assuming that you are going to be so far on the offensive that your opponent is at no time ever going to do anything, and this is exactly the kind of thing that falls victim to a lot of drops and run-bys.
Oh, yeah, and that's really the name of the game whenever you see... Oh, yeah. So he's going to get the surround. Oh, late force fields. They would have been fairly nice, but a little bit late on the trigger there. Now the Zerglings, they're going to get in. So he's going to be able to get in, and he's opting to try and do damage now. Needs to just be trying to run back and scout as best as he can. I mean, I guess he sees the 3 gates in the Cybernetics Core, so he's going to have a generally good idea of what's going on. But, yeah, now he's got the drone back there to take a look at what's happening. So very effective early little pressure there by Gritogram, getting a secondary scout as well as being able to pick off a few stray units as he can. In the meantime, his hatch has finished. The creep is beginning to spread. Some really early creep tumor there, and he's getting the Roach Warren up as well. So looking real strong as Grit at the moment.
Oh yeah, you know, and it's this is going to sound really weird, but I think I came up with a great nickname for Gritogram is because, you know, if you play Fallout a lot, you know, they have that stuff that's called cram, and it just always looks like the most disgusting stuff in the world. A, it's been irradiated, and B, it's living in the wasteland. I think I'm just going to start calling Grit Fallout. Fallout. I'm just gonna start calling him Fallout because it's just easier than Gritogram, or I'll just call him Cram or Spam or something.
Yeah, just Cram works. Yeah, Cram. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think irradiation could even make prepackaged ham-like product stuffed into a can. I don't think you can make that any worse, okay? I'd rather have it irradiated, I think. But anyway.
It has its own flavor.
Yeah. I just about said something very mean. So
you know what's funny? Well, this is exactly how my brain works. We're having a great time with the StarCraft 2, and the only thing my brain can think of, do you still have to wonder about the expiration date on irradiated food, or does it not even matter?
Well, I don't know. I guess if maybe you've got a sensitive stomach in the wasteland, maybe you have concerns, maybe you have a little bit of the latent IBS. But anyway, I'm so glad I have some kind of a filter when I get behind a mic. I came very close to making about like the most bad taste, very mean joke in the world, and I'm so glad I held off. Good for me, AC. Sorry, streamers, you have no idea. You're not going to get to know how mean I could be, just because I like to be funny at other people's expense. It's like that song by what's his name? Oh my God, Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary. Yeah, if I'm an asshole. If you've never heard that song, go Google it like right now. It's essential. So the third hatch going down now for Cram. He's got Zerglings and Roaches, just trying to stay as thin as he can, but at the same time, it's like he's not thin at the moment. He's got a decent Roach count, but he doesn't seem to be active with them. Instead, he's just trying to play safe, maybe looking to put on aggression at some point. But right now, the gateway's beginning to kick in for Dime. So he's going to begin pushing down. And this third, the timing of this, and if he's able to protect it, is so crucial in terms of his EVP as you move towards the early mid-game as we approach the 10-minute mark. So if Dime just tries to push here at the natural, not going to favor him too very well. That is a decent roach count. He's going to be able to reinforce with Zerglings. In fact, 6 more on the way now. He's got the Spine Crawler in good position, another Crawler going down already, and really a good creep spread already, so good for him.
Oh yeah, definitely getting that out. We see that the 2 mushroom created phoenixes are out now, doing a great job scouting out that third base right there. The other one floating in somewhere. I don't see it, but it was floating around there somewhere. But yeah, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and start moving down his force just a little bit. Start getting on that creep right now, and those little Zerglings are starting to run amok. Trying to look for places to go.
Well, he's going to poke up and see that there's nothing here at the gold yet, so he's got to know his opponent's on a third base by now. There's no way a Zerg player is going to make it this deep into a tournament like this with such a robust player base and not be taking a third when he needs to be. So he's got to be aware of that, but it doesn't look like he's making any move on it. He could easily loop around to it right now. The creep's not even remotely connected, so he would have quite an advantage. Instead, just looks like he's kind of fixated on this natural expansion, and that may cost him. He's tossing down the 2 proxy pylons now and looking to put on some aggression, but he's falling further and further behind in supply. The Spire about 4/5 of the way done, and even the +1's not on time for Dime, so Dime just really not looking the sharpest in the world right now, Red Mage.
Oh, absolutely not, AC. You know, we see that Fallout is doing a great job here, muscling up that huge roach ball, trying to keep that center protected. And yeah, I'm right there with you. Dime really just needs to loop around, go counterclockwise through that third, and now we see a little bit of an engagement.
Some decent force fields, I guess, if he's wanting to delay that engagement. He only cut off about 1 roach, so pretty much a waste of energy. Now he's got the high ground, though, and again, only cutting off a handful of those roaches. They're actually going to be able to burrow underneath and run away. The Observer there going to help deal with that. These Overlords a bit out of place. He can snipe these down pretty easily, and if he does, just easy free damage at the moment. And right now, I got to say, Cram's kind of screwing the pooch. He seems indecisive as to if he wants to engage or not, and it's cost him some units and a couple of Overlords now. More force fields. There we go. That was a much better set of force fields, using the Mank statue to trap a few of them and force his opponent back. So, yeah, right now it's kind of a back and forth. I'm still just kind of baffled by the fact that Dime is continuing to push here when a few minutes ago he could have very easily looped around and attacked his third before the creep's connected. The creep's still not connected, actually, so he's putting pressure on in a kind of an awkward way. The Roach is going to run up and actually catch his opponent a little bit out of position. They're going to burrow underneath the force fields, taking a lot of damage, though. The Observer's there right on top of all the Stalkers. They come up out of the ground, continuing to fire down. These are some upgraded Roaches, almost 24 of them, probably more than 24 before the engagement, but right now looks like Dime getting the better of this. Grit, I'm not really sure why he's kind of sold on the aggression right now. Dime is not pressuring his third. His second is the most secure spot on the map at the moment, and now finally we see Dime beginning to move out and try to take that third down while he plants a third nexus of his own. So Dime, even though he didn't look that sharp early, really bouncing back now as this Stalker in the Sentry count begins to grow. The Roach count very low now for Grit, and Grit in a lot of trouble. The Zealots moving in, chasing the Roaches back. He's going to be able to easily finish off this hatch, and really I'm not sure exactly what Cram can do other than what it looks like he wants to do now. He's going to try and counterattack to draw his opponent back, but I think this may not accomplish much else than forcing a base race.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, it's going to waver into Dime's favor because he's right there in the base, and it's a little too late for Fallout right now. I think he really either needed to stay there or try to do this kind of thing earlier. As soon as those forces try to wrap around and try to take out that third of his, but I think he's just going to be completely thwarted by that wall that of course that I don't like, but Dime did manage to put that up. And it's not really saving his bacon, but it's definitely creating a good enough blockage to warrant the fact that Dime is just now completely decimated 2 hatcheries. He's right now pulling the army back.
Not sure why he's doing that. I mean, if you're going to base race. You know what I mean? He's crippled his opponent. I mean, with the loss of that natural in the third, Grit's completely out of this. The army he has now is basically the army he's going to have. So I can understand that he wants to go ahead and try and finish things up right now, make sure that he can salvage as much as he can. Loses his own second Nexus, and he's going to be able to finish this out. He's got the Observer somewhere. No, he doesn't actually. Now the Observer joins the fight. So, yeah, there's the GG. So, Rev Dime going to jump out to a 1-0 lead here in this best-of-3 series at the IG Cup number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
You're absolutely right about that, AC. And actually, I've just been told by Grit, it's actually Grit actually won the first game. That was actually their second game. I was right there, and he said that it's now 1-1. So we're going to go into the third of the best-of-3 series there. So this is going to be even more interesting with these two opponents that we managed to pick up in between. Both of these guys are doing amazingly well. With the way that their timing is, and it's a little off in the aggression. You and I, you commented a lot about that, but all in all, what a great game matchup right there. I think they did a fantastic job. But then again, that's why I'm the guy that just says occasional stupid comments, and you're the guy that actually does all the commentating.
Well, Dime was a little sloppy early on. It seemed he was late on a few things. His decision making as to how he wanted to push and apply aggression wasn't the best. But in the end, it didn't really matter. He was able to get in and do the damage he wanted to do, and that's all that counts. So he jumps out to a 1-0, or excuse me. So he did who won that first game? You just said that, but I'm a moron.
Fallout. Grit.
Okay, so we're going into Game 3 of this. So it's going to be tied up 1-1, moving into Game 3 in this best-of-3. So taking a quick look at the brackets while we get that second game set up. And we're going to see where everything is. If you're just joining us, by the way, I'm AC. That's Red Mage JR. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here in the stream. And you can make sure to check out all of our events going on at itsgosu.com. And this event brought to you in part by SteelSeries as well. We've just announced them as a new lead sponsor. It's a real pleasure and honor to have them. Oh, wow, here's a name that I somehow missed. And I can't believe I have. We've already got one guy into the round of 8. That's Daisuke. I'm pretty sure he's officially a member of One Gaming now. He hasn't attached the One tag to his name, to the best of my knowledge. But he's an amazing player, a grandmaster player. Of the players still left and going, we've got Root Dodoro, Techno Boy, Daisuke. This is Jimmy, Call RSVP. GG Last Shadow still knocking it out. And a bunch of other big names. Again, if you just joined us, kind of the big story, I guess you could say, of the moment is, and I've yet to get an official confirmation of this. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it or not, and we weren't able to cast his games, obviously, early on. But MTW Demaga did sign up for this tournament and was, according to the bracket, eliminated in the round of 64. So if one of our admins can PM me or even call it out in the Justin TV chat, I don't really care. I just want to know if that was a walkover or what the hell happened. And because if he was beat, then the guy that got the best of him in the bracket, Shmoo, SHMOO, is a guy I want to keep an eye on.
Absolutely, yeah. Shmoo, sounds like a Dr. Seuss character.
That's why I was thinking the same thing.
The Shmoos have come down from the hill. One fish, two fish, Terran fish, blue fish. I don't know. I was trying to make up some stupid Seuss rock.
All right. Hey, trivia time. What was Dr. Seuss's real name?
Oh, bonkers. You got to ask me something like that.
Come on, man.
Crap.
Come on,
I can't
man.
Remember.
It's Theodore Geisel.
Geisel, that's it.
But anyway, yes, I see some people in the chat hollering out, Ronald Jinkies is indeed the beast. He is one of my favorite musicians in the world, and I'm going to go ahead and pop up our music credits again while we wait to jump into this third game. You can check out all of tonight's music at the following links: halotopic.newgrounds.com, myspace.com/Indigo League, and Ronald Jinkies at ronaldjinkies.com. He's the guy putting out the baller tunes you hear at the moment. Make sure you buy his album, Disorganized Fun, and don't be one of those people who says, oh, I'll torrent the album or I'll download it, and then if I like it, I'll buy a t-shirt to support the artist. No, he doesn't sell t-shirts, he doesn't do tours, he doesn't do live performances. Buy the friggin' album. Trust me, you won't regret it. One of the best albums I've ever heard, especially if you're into instrumentals and a merging of genres. He does so well with the beat machine on top of his amazing keyboard playing. So make sure you check him out as well. The rest of our sponsors for the night, by the way, as mentioned, SteelSeries. I'm going to keep harping on them because they signed with us. They're now
AC. You need to accept your invite, buddy.
Awesome, baller.
Sorry.
No, call that shit out. Call it out, man. Don't be shamed, because whenever I'm flipping through this stuff, I am in full sponsor love mode. So. But anyway, SteelSeries, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu in combination, Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So again, I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR. We've got a giveaway going on tonight, don't we, my friend? Tell our listeners about that.
We sure do. For those of you who are actually, because we're going to give away even more now, thanks to our great martial arts sponsor there. We're giving away 10 packs of limited edition Magic the Gathering Planeswalker series cards. These packs were only available for sale for sale at the I was going to say MLG, the New York Comic Convention in 2010. So these suckers are not only old, but they're valuable because they're limited edition, because they don't have all the words and junk on the cover. They've got a cool picture. If you're like me, you like cool pictures and stuff like that. That's really the only reason why to play Magic sometimes. But all you have to do to really win these cool packs of Planeswalker Magic cards is be a follower on Justin TV. That's the only requirement that you have to be, is a follower on Justin TV. Then you send me an email at contest@itsgosu.com. Give me your little nickname there for Justin.tv or TwitchTV.com. Whichever one you want to call it, it's the same thing, whatever. Just send me your little nickname there with an email at contest@itsgosu.com, and I'll enter you in the prize pool here. And we're going to give away 10. Originally it was going to be 5, but they apparently just called us and said we can give away 10 packs tonight.
Right.
So that is going to be
don't forget
amazing.
that these things are, the wholesale price on them is $15 to $20. That means you're guaranteed, even if you don't give a damn about Magic the Gathering. That's like a $15, $20 bill. Yeah, since they make $15 bills. Moron. I'm an idiot. But it's like it's like three Abe Lincolns in your pocket, or maybe a $20 bill, and Andrew Jackson, who, by the way, is one of the most badass presidents of all time, who won like 1 million duels and shot some dude on the lawn of the White House at one point. But he actually beats. If I'm not mistaken the story, he actually beat someone with his cane as well, like from Congress or something. But anyway, even if you don't give a damn about Magic the Gathering, it's money in your pocket. You can resell those on eBay. We're not having a contest where it's like, oh, by the way, you pay the shipping. No, that's on us. Don't worry about it, guys. And I said this earlier, and I hate to make it sound kind of white trashish, but it's kind of like a scratch-off lottery ticket, too, in that a lot of those cards, because they are limited edition, they were only available in 1 or 2 places, namely the New York Comic Convention. A lot of those cards are worth upwards of $50, $60, and even as Red Mage mentioned, there's 1 or 2 that are worth more than $100. So even if you're, shout out to FLO, says Grit, no problem, FLO, just, yeah, shout out to them, whoever they are. But even if you're not a big fan of Magic the Gathering and you want to roll the dice, you can open that pack up and see if maybe you land one of those expensive cards, and you turn basically the investment of 5 seconds to send us an email into a Benny in your pocket. So the gas still going down now for Cram, aka Fallout, because we like to think of prepackaged pork-like product inside of a sealed tin can from the irradiated world.
in the wastelands of the irradiated. Yes, the email is a contest@itsgosu.com there for anybody that wants to win free Magic cards that could be worth upwards from $15 to $150 right there. So contest@itsgosu.com. You only have to be a follower on Justin TV or TwitchTV.com. Just send me your nickname for that you use for Justin TV / Twitch, whatever. Just send me your nickname in that email and just say, I want free Magic cards. And I will put your name in a hat, and then we're going to give away 10 packs.
Make sure you hit follow for me. That's the only condition we ask. You got to be a follower of us on Justin TV. And if you're going to do that, I mean, since I'm sure all of you are such nice people, go ahead and hit like and tweet as well. Because of the efforts of our viewership doing all 3 of those things that we landed Steel Series, and we're able to give away some of their swag tonight. So anyway, Grit able to get down that expansion. He went with a very safe Pool and gas play, able to chase that annoying little probe down and make sure that he can deal with that instead of the pylon block going up. So going to be getting his expansion down roughly on time, only delayed slightly. And in the meantime, Dime doing the exact same thing we've seen out of him in both of these games, going for that early block, being very safe by walling in his ramp, and then putting together the wall afterwards. So very stable play out of both players right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. I did want to throw a quick shout out to somebody. Like, this is going to sound really bad because I keep looking. And his name is Legless Puppy. In the chat, and the only thing that's coming to my mind is the movie The Losers, because I really like that movie. And they, at one point, one of the characters calls himself, or somebody calls one of the characters Legless Pooch, because he was shot in both of his kneecaps. And so I just keep looking.
Here comes some early Zergling aggression. That's a good number of speedlings. He's going to be able to get up the ramp. A bad force field actually cuts off his own Zealot and his own Sentry, so the majority of these Zerglings are going to be able to make it up there. And that's just one of those dough moments when you just want to shoot yourself in the friggin' face. You force fielded your own units out. The probes all pulled off, continuing to lose probes. More and more popping now. They're going to be able to finish off these Zerglings, but not out after a good bit of loss, and he's still even going to work. He picks off a pylon as well. More Zerglings on the way. He's going to lose his second pylon. These gateways do get one warp in off before they go to being unpowered, but just great timing there by Gridokram, and one costly mistake really costing Rev Dime here early.
Oh, absolutely. That was a great run by right there by Fallout. And now he's completely turning him around, and now Dime is on the correct side of the force field. He's on the western block as opposed to the eastern block this time. Right now it's just going absolutely bonkers all over that warp gate right now, just dropping that hit points as fast as he can. Even with the above ground, even with the upper vision, Dime could not eliminate enough of those things to prevent just an all-out massacre of those unit producing structures. So he's gonna lose that money and have to remake everything. So again,
at this point it's almost GG. It really is.
Yeah,
I mean, how does he bounce back
really
from this? I mean, he doesn't even have a Nexus in production. His opponent's up on his second. He's droning like crazy. He lost 2 of his warp gates. Right now he's sitting on a big fat 1 warp gate to produce out of. He lost a ton of harvesters. And, I mean, you don't blame him for hanging in, but really you don't come back from that like this unless he wants to do some kind of crazy... He's going to have to put together a 1-base push just to take his expansion at this point. And that's never a position you want to be in against a Zerg opponent.
You're absolutely right about that, AC. Sorry, I was talking to somebody in chat about the...
It's okay, man. It's what you do.
Quick contest updates. That's right. This because I've done a big move. For me to try to do so much and me being so bad at multitasking, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Oh, we see some more carnage just coming in here. The humanity of it all. That poor probe just lost its life so quickly. To all those pesky little Zerglings right there.
Oh yeah, every minute that goes by without this Nexus going down, by the way, the production up and running just fine for Grid. He's even getting the Spore Crawlers out to be extremely safe. He's getting 3 Overlords. That looks like he's planning the drop. That's the only reason I can imagine. He's got supply room, plenty of it. Still, now he's getting the Banelings, so continuing to pour on the pressure. But not as many drones out of him right now as I'd like to see. He's actually looking to go ahead and end the game right now. He's got 9 Banelings on the way, 8 more Zerglings in production. He's camped out right outside of the base here. Here goes 4 Banelings. They're going to try and get behind the mineral line. Looks like they're going to get spotted, though. Force field, good placement there, creating an impromptu wall. There go the Banelings heading straight for the sentries, but more good force fields prevent that. And really, Grit, I'm not the biggest fan of what he's doing right now. He has been at an amazing advantage shutting down that expansion, but now because he wanted to pour the aggression on and end things quick, he's not nearly as far ahead as he should be. Now he's droning up like he should have been. He's actually behind in Harvesters right now, Red Mage. He is behind in Harvesters despite taking down that second Nexus, despite delaying it so long. He's had his expansion up forever, and that's kind of the dice you roll as a Zerg player. If you want to go for a quick win, it costs you, a lot of drone time, and it's really, really put him way far behind from where he should have been by now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He really should have had at least a 3rd, possibly going into a 4th hatch at this point. And right now he just needs to start pulling back. The aggression was great because he was able to kind of put Dime on his feet for a little bit. But now it's done. Now you just need to pull back. Now you really need to start thinking about it. Now, as we say that, he's starting to drop down that 3rd hatch right there. And really, and I guess that's smart of him to pre-think about all the outcomes that could have gone there, which is why you put down the Spore Crawler, he put down those 2 Spine Crawlers. He was really waiting. He was just making sure that if his attempts failed, that he would still have some sort of defense. And that might come in handy here pretty soon as we see more Stalkers coming in, a Robotics Bay coming down right now for Dime. It just finished up. That Observer is going to be able to come out and see that there's almost nothing in that base. Well, he'll see something here in a second. There'll be 11 roaches popping out, but we have that one probe just outside just off the creep, and that would tell me if I was Grit, that, yeah, exactly, he's going down to check for that 3rd because that creep wasn't spread out enough. Does he have that 3rd? Does he not? And, perfect timing right there. Gets in there, sees that expansion is definitely going up and running. So he is going to be aware that his opponent is behind. Right. Absolutely behind.
Oh, he's behind exactly where he should have been. I mean, again, oh, wow, he's going to be able to pick off his Overseer. Bad spot to try and morph that. Good waste of resources there, but... and this really comes down to game sense. How good a sense does Dime have? How good a sense does he have the game sense to know that, okay, he just threw a lot of Zerglings and Banelings at me. super, super early after throwing a lot of Zerglings at me early to screw up my second expansion. And, there comes a point where you have to know, it's like, okay, he can't have that many drones. He can't be as far ahead economically as I would think he would be. And right now, he's got a decent roach count, up around 15 of them. But really, when you compare the armies here, Rev Dime's behind in supply. We go to the income tab. Dime's only behind one harvester at this point. So, he's not nearly as far behind as his supply would seem to indicate. And really, I'm just kind of baffled. I mean, I understand you want to have that killer instinct to try and go for the killing blow when the moment is right. But really, if he had just fallen back and droned up, I mean, what's his opponent going to do? Put together a one-base push and try and take you out when you're on 3 bases safely across the map? Instead, now, he's got a decent army. It looks like we're going to have an engagement. I'm not liking at all the way that Grit seems like he may come out in this. He's actually going to force the issue, though. The Zerglings forcing the Stalkers back against the wall. Not the best force fields at all, actually. That's just... I mean, I guess if he wants to delay the engagement, I can understand that, but really kind of a waste there, not even cutting off any units to be picked off. So Dime fixated now on this third, going to push up the ramp and try and force the engagement here. And again, Grit has just got to be slapping himself in the head. He's in a position now that he should not have been in because of his bad decision-making early on.
Yeah, and that is just one, that's a whole domino effect right there. There's, you screw up one or two things, and then the next thing you know, it's your entire game plan is completely just shattered.
And he's lost almost all these roaches. He burrowed them. The observer was there. He left them burrowed despite them taking fire. So the third is now dead. We have reinforcements coming across the map from Dime. And if Dime wins this, I'm just going to be slack-jawed. I mean, how in the world do you bounce back and win? And now the roach is moving out for Grit. Don't like that at all. I mean, he's basically all in at this point. He's not going to be able to break this. He's going to be able to do some damage. But yeah, here comes the entire red blob army of Dime. He's going to be able to sandwich this in. He does pick off the Robo, so a little bit of a small victory. But yeah, these Stalkers, good force fields, great force fields there by Dime, making up for the poor force fields earlier, able to cut off the Roach's retreat, forcing them in to just do whatever damage they can at the moment, and Grit's supply just plummeting down to 75, 73, 65 now, more force fields, and Dime just in a commanding lead, more than a 60 supply advantage. Well, Grit goes through one round of production, so he's cut that down a little bit, having to remake his third at a different spot, and Dime just in a commanding position right now.
Oh yeah, I mean right there, Grit he was doing so great, and then now it's swinging back, and Dime is just going to go ahead and just move right in. You can just A move. That's all you got to do. Just A move right on the creep. Just be done with it.
The Hydra's a little too late. The Spine Crawler's a minor concern. Kind of questionable force fields again. It amazes me, how a guy can have good force fields some of the time, like really good force fields, and then he just kind of throws up a blob of them sometimes, just kind of cuz. But yeah, he's continuing to force. I guess if he was trying to force make a smaller choke for the Zerg units to move through, I can understand doing that. Doesn't really matter. The Hydra lists that have been added on are going to be too little too late. They're now going to stream out one at a time, and there it is. The GG well played. Rev